All right, let's see if this is here so I can play it and we'll get a terrible echo again. Hello? Internet? Are you out there? Okay.
It just popped up on Twitch now.
Okay, here is the YouTube link.
Yep, there we go. Okay. All right, just put a Twitch link up. If you
hello,
put it,
Benjamin. I got a tweet up. Yeah.
Okay, you do. I know it's gonna.
We can yell at each other about why Trey Smith is
too high,
not
worthy.
Tier 1.
Why do you have him 1.5?
I dropped him all the way to 2
after the game, after the Super Bowl.
After thinking about it further.
Okay. I added a page also of all of our free agent rankings and their tiers since 2020. It's right to the right of the main page.
Oh, yeah.
So interesting to look back at.
I was looking back when I was trying to decide. I was even thinking about making T a 1.5 because I was looking at previous years. And I was like, do I really think that T is actually truly a Tier 1 free agent?
So this is a whole debate because then I saw DJ Reader as a 1 and I go, okay, trying to set the standard of how we've used it before. No Tier 1 player really ever makes it to free agency. So free agency is a little different, right? It's like Tier 1 in free agency are the 26-year-old guys that are really good and have been good. And despite not being Pro Bowlers and all pros, those guys almost never make it. Not in their prime.
Yeah. Very rare. And there's always questions, right? When those guys do make it. And this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about our free agent tiers. Oh yeah, I put my microphone up here so I can see my screen. And Joe put in this history. So this will be out at some point.
I tried to control some of the formatting and colors, and it's all different because every year we kind of change it up a little bit. So
yeah,
I tried to get it as close as we could.
This is the wrongest we've ever been. These, like, all 3 players here.
I still think there should be Tier 3 guys though. And that's what I was thinking. Okay, Tier 3 is like a target of a good prime age player that isn't a cornerstone type player. That really doesn't have the chance to be a cornerstone type player. Hendrickson outplayed that completely, but I had a 2 on him. So he was above that.
But just collectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, we're always going to get stuff wrong. There's no way around that. But
we allowed the hype to get to us on La'el Collins of the moment. Man, this is one of the best right tackles in the league.
I was just so hard in denial about the injury stuff.
Yeah.
And all the negative stuff we heard from Dallas people, he never wants to practice, blah blah blah.
And then after the contract came out, I think we realized, I remember we had conversations about that right after. Oh, okay. So there's nothing guaranteed here. They can get out of this because they must be messed up.
Well, but I also remember, even after seeing the contract, talking to Brad Spielberger, comparing it to Terron Armstead.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, man, you calling Armstead this steal, but look at what the Bengals are paying Collins. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And he was still good. but before that. Anyway, so we're going to get things wrong, but the idea here is that we're all putting in our tiers.
You know what made me really think, though? I went back and looked at last year, and we all had Zach Bond as a 5. And I was like, you know what? We did not look critically enough at guys that were premium picks, still in prime age. And Bond, I don't know if you know this, because my thought on the time last year was, Bond really hasn't played. He hasn't done anything. Didn't play for the Saints. And then I went back and looked, and he actually did play for the Saints last year, about 390 snaps or whatever it was, a decent amount. and had like a 78 grade. And I was like, you know what, Bond, the signs were there that there was still some potential. He did not deserve a 5 from us across the board.
I think the lesson there is when there is an underused player on the Saints,
go for him
on the Saints defense. Try to notice those trends. Pay close attention there, and see if they could be better somewhere else.
There's a bunch in here, and they're over the cap, right? They always are. So free agency, I want to attack the Saints players. There's a lot of them in here. You could probably sort them by the Saints and just look at who they have.
We could look at the Saints here real quick. Chase Young.
I want him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really a Saint though. Paulson Adebo. I have not watched this guy at all. So this is my problem this year is there's a lot of players that I just don't really know what's going on with them. Peyton Turner, I remember that name.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like you tell me that you wouldn't take a former first-round pick guy?
Peyton Turner, suddenly interesting.
So Paulson Adebo, also interesting with him. His coverage grades and stuff coming out of college, 90th percentile plus. The guys that get that, and I was talking to Neil about this, he brought up because we had Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell last year graded really high. All the other guys are Pat Surtain and Pro Bowl and all pro type guys, and then Paulson Adebo. And it's like, oh, you know, maybe there's a lot more upside to him. And you go look at his PFF grades, nothing wrong with it. Man had 10, he played 7 games last year. I think he had 10 passes defensed. I'm like, here's a guy who, let's see if he flies under the radar, could be cornerback 1 type Chidobe Awuzie signing.
Okay, should we address this?
Did he not unlock Bond, or did he have better linebackers playing for him? He got great linebacker play his entire time there, whether it was Pete Werner in round 2. I mean, Demario Davis, obviously, right, has been a great linebacker for the time he's been there.
And he broke out under this linebacker coach.
He broke out under him.
Yes.
Quan Alexander had some of his best moments, too, with the Saints until he, got hurt. They've had good linebackers, and you only play 2 linebackers anymore. Remember, Bond was an edge rusher / linebacker, very similar if you started watching Javon Walker this draft season from Georgia, where it's like, I'm not really sure if he's either one of those. And Bond was that guy, and it took him some time. I even wrote about it. I had some tweets that I was retweeting during the Super Bowl. I'm like, he's going to take some time, but I like Bond a lot. And Bond, look at last year's PFF grades. It was there. The light finally flipped for him. Did we expect him to be all pro? I mean, that's why he was a top 40 pick. I think people expected him to eventually be good. It just took definitely too long.
Well, wasn't the thought with Bond that he was a pass rusher, and it took him a while to because everybody thought he was a pass rusher, and it took them a while to figure out that he was an off-ball linebacker, and he still was primarily a pass rusher for New Orleans in 2023. He had 137 pass rushes, and he was okay at it. Before that, they were trying him more off-ball, but he was only playing like 194 snaps, and
nothing there.
Wasn't great. And then he lands with Philly, where. Like the other thing about Philly.
Did I do here's the guy? Did I do that? Apparently I did.
Apparently the other thing to keep in mind is he's playing behind a generational defensive front in Philly. And that 100% has something to do with the breakout. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not everything. Like, he definitely took a step, and they got him in the best spot, and they unlocked him for sure. But playing behind that defensive front is a huge deal for him.
I also think the Eagles linebacker coach may be the best linebacker coach in the league. He's had success. He was with the Titans before this. Aziz El-Shiar had his breakout. They've put in Oren Burks, who was a good prospect, but a special teams guy that throughout his career, he get good athleticism, production, but never really developed in anything. He played well for them. Nakobe Dean has played well for them. It has not mattered who they've thrown into the linebacker unit under him, whether it's the Titans or the Eagles now, and they have gotten good production at linebacker. So he just might be good.
It's a good point. I do like the Bengals new linebacker coach for what it's worth.
I do too. I think that's probably their best hire on the defensive side of, because I'm not huge on Montgomery off the things you hear.
Yeah, Montgomery is a bit concerning, actually. Yeah. Like, to the point where I was very surprised they didn't hire a pass rush specialist.
An edge guy, right? I'm still waiting on hoping that we see an edge guy come in here.
I think that ship has sailed, Joe.
I think it is too. When you're at this point, I mean, the Cowboys are still adding assistants. You know, there is time.
There's time, but that's not the way the Bengals do things. There was time last year for the Bengals to add a defensive tackle and to add a guard when we were saying they just need to add one more player at these positions, and then they didn't do it. There's time, but they have to want to do it, and it's not clear to me that there's a want to. But the one thing I guess we could say is, you know, you look at their coaching staff, and I'll pull up. I'll switch my tab here to look at the Bengals team page here. When we look at their coaching roster right now, look at all these coaches on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. There's one for every position and situation.
9. You got tight ends, running backs, quarterbacks, right? Wide receivers, offensive line, and then assistant offensive line, offensive assistant, pass game coordinator, assistant quarterbacks. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra coaches here. Assistant offensive line coach, every single team has. Offensive assistant, pass game coordinator, assistant quarterback. Maybe every team has assistant quarterbacks, but they have some extra coaches here that aren't like your standard issue coaches. Defensive staff, Al Golden, sure, great. Linebackers, defensive line, secondary, corners, secondary safeties, and 1 Ronnie Regula.
Who's the guy he brought in from Notre Dame? He's not listed yet, huh? He brought an assistant in?
Is that an official? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Did they actually hire him, though?
I mean, I was just going off the report we saw, what was it, a week ago or so? So I'm expecting, and I don't know what his qualifications are. It said defensive assistant. Mike Moon, people are saying in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Mike Moon, unspecified role. So this was reported by Football Scoop's John Bryce. And that's right. Like I looked up Mike Moon. I remember this now. Yeah. And Mike Moon, it has such an interesting history. Like he was an Old Dominion graduate assistant.
Yeah.
And there he coached the defensive line and defensive end. So maybe that is his role. He did not do that at Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, I think he was like a film assistant, senior analyst.
That's it, analyst. Yep. Remember
defensive analyst at Notre Dame. But he did at Old Dominion spend some time working with defensive.
So maybe that's it. It seems like a very interesting low rank kind of hire, but maybe he's the right guy. We'll see.
Yeah. Thank you, chat. Mike,
you guys are on it. We're a team here.
It's a great thing about having a chat. All right. So the plan today is to, let's see, can I share this entire window safely?
Did you did you spin the wheel for free agency?
I did spin the wheel for
You did? Was it terrible?
I got Trey.
Oh, that's good.
But the rest were really bad. I got Trey. I got Nick Scott. Okay. I got Ricardo Allen.
All right.
I got Cody Ford. Don't remember the other one. Wasn't anybody good.
Right. I thought that was fun. And
it's funny, yeah. It's a fun way to go about it.
Right. Although it should be 6 spins. We got 32 players, 5 off seasons. It should have been 6.
Oh. Well, I better go take my one more spin.
You better take my one. Yeah.
Hold on. Please hold. How far do I have to go? Here we go. Wheel of names. One more spin. Hopefully that's not really loud.
It's not. Let's get one.
Oh, got 3 safeties, just like the Bengals. I got all the safeties. All the safeties they signed to try to replace. Okay, so what we're doing today is
blow this up for us.
Yeah. Okay, I can't see my screen on here again.
Right, that's why I'm helping you.
No, but like it's disappeared. Hold on. This is driving me crazy. It's doing this crap again. Okay, now I can see it. All right. We got a lot of questions too. Please, I would say this. Let's hold questions so that Joe and I can get through this exercise, and then we'll take questions at the end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions about a lot of stuff. Jacksonville and Trey. Yeah, like questions that we don't want to ignore. But if we don't mind, hold it. Maybe what we'll do in the future is we'll take some questions at the beginning. We'll do like 10 minutes of questions at the beginning. and then we'll do 10 minutes or 15 minutes of questions at the end.
Yeah, it's a good call.
But for today, let's get through the exercise that we wanted to do, which is essentially manage the Cincinnati Bengals free agency and make some decisions here. The Locked On Bengals episode we just recorded was trying to find good alternatives to keeping Tee Higgins on the team.
Alternatives, like, what do you mean? What's a good alternative? Like players, better ways to spend the money?
Like if you tag and trade him, is there a way that you can actually make the team better? And boy, was it hard. We did not get there. Like we didn't even have time to really like get into it in any depth, because every time we got there, it's like, boy, is this hard. You got to find a trade partner. You got to find a trade partner who's going to give you value that actually matters. You're going to have to find a way to use that money to get better at positions in a free agency class. It's like, where are you getting better in this free agency class? You're going to have to hope that you get a receiver in the first round, probably.
You have to tag him. He has to sign the tag and negotiate a contract with that new team.
You have to deal with carrying that $26 million franchise tag cap hit into the beginning of the league year while they're working on a trade. And if they don't get that trade done immediately, then that really is going to impact it will actually impact their available cap space for free agency. So anyway, that's what we did on Locked On Bengals today. And it's not what we're going to do here, because we're going to extend T. But one note is that I don't think that the cap space number here as represented is very helpful. And the reason we're not doing this on Over the Cap is because it makes it, well, we're trying this new thing on Spotrac, but some differences in cap space, right? 49.5 million versus 46.5 million. It's because Spotrac is using top 51 rules, and I don't believe,
although that says it there, huh?
I don't believe that this is top 51 rules, but I could be wrong. There are always some differences in Spotrac and Over the Cap.
Yeah.
I prefer Over the Cap. I think that they are more accurate, generally speaking, but this is a new tool where we can trade and do tags and do signing free agents and stuff. And we can see dead money, and we can see draft picks, and we can see that they've got the draft pick allocation here that isn't included. So eventually, those of you that follow me and us quite closely, I will put together an accurate picture of the Bengals cap space that includes the rookie pool, that includes practice squad money.
You had that on the free agent spreadsheet last year. I assume you'll probably put it in there.
Yeah, I've done it the last couple of years. I will eventually get there this year before free agency opens, because this number is probably more like 40 million.
So I say we start with cutting players.
Of course.
Okay.
The number is probably more like 40 million until you cut players. And there are some very obvious cuts. Some of these we don't even need to think about. We don't even need to talk about. I think that's one. I think this is one. I think that this is one, although it's not actually. We're going to come back to Sam Hubbard.
Okay.
I think this is one.
Zach Moss, yeah.
And then, so some less obvious cuts to me are Geno Stone and Jermaine Pratt. To us, are we doing what we would do today?
Do we know what we would do?
Are we working through this as if it's us making the decisions?
We should probably.
Okay. So then I'm cutting these guys without thinking about it. But I guess I'll throw out the caveat here that I am not 100% sure that I think the Bengals are like, they should have decided by now. They should know what their plan is here.
I think Stone and Pratt are the two that they had to wait for Al Golden and his staff to get here and review and see what they can do. Plus, free agency, you kind of have to balance it also with like, all right, if we cut Stone, who could we get in free agency? And you have to weigh that.
Yeah. And do they cut stuff?
I don't know.
That's what I'm least sure about.
I think the plan was to cut Stone, but they had to wait for Golden and his crew to make their decisions.
If they cut Geno Stone, I think that pigeonholes them into like, how do we get Xavier Watts?
Or Starks in the first round. I don't think is out of the question.
It's not, but
really good prospect.
I think that we'll probably prefer a couple of edge rushers there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you can give me an impact D lineman, I'm taking that over a safety every time.
Anyway, let's cut these guys.
Okay.
Let's keep Geno Stone for now. Let's see what we can get for safety before we cut him.
Right, 'cause you can always cut afterwards.
We can cut Pratt now, and then okay. So
I think this is an automatic cut.
I think it is a cut, but it
But
sure
bring
does
back at
seem
a
like
league
he's
minimum.
coming back at a lower number.
Fine, but for now, let's cut him. And I bet if we see him in free agency, we could say, "Hey, what's the market value? Is it 2.5 million?" Then fine, we can make that decision based on the other guys that are also worth that.
And there's no way to do
Pay cut, restructure.
pay cut
Right?
here. So release. Okay. So
Now
we've
we're at
done these
81.
releases, and now this says 81, which is so interesting because if we do it over here,
I know. If you cut the same guys,
I don't know why these numbers are different. Because if we cut Rankins here and Hubbard and Kappa and Pratt, and we didn't cut Stone. That's why.
that's right. And then Moss.
82. All right, close enough. All right,
Yep.
so we got $81 million in cap space, which is why when you read the Adam Schefter article about the Bengals being the most interesting team in free agency and they only have $46 million to play with, ignore the
It's
$46
stupid.
million.
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to sign some free agents. Is that next?
Or extend first. Let's know
Okay,
how much
let's
money we
extend.
have first. And I say we start with Hendrickson because he may be the most difficult. I don't know if he's the most difficult or not. I was just saying it may be the first chip I need to answer. And the Bengals are supposed to meet with Hendrickson this week in his agency and say, okay, where are we at? Because if we feel we can get a deal done, then they will attempt to get a deal done. I feel like that's the plan and the idea. And if they don't feel like it because he's way out of the range, then they will make the decisions necessary to trade him and keep it moving.
Have you done this quick trade thing?
I have not. I don't know what that would do.
Curious. All right. What are our options here?
Quick extension or just customized
Okay.
extension. I think add 2 years on.
New value. What is this new value? What does that mean?
New money you're adding. So 58 million, let's say in new, or 60 million. Let's say if it's 30 million per year, if it's
That would be the
29 per
very
year.
high end. So we're going as conservative as possible and saying this is what they're saying on the street. So it might be 30 million. So we'll do 30 million.
27 per year, 54 total for 2 years.
Say again.
27 per year, 54 for.
No, let's go conservative. Let's constrain ourselves.
Oh, okay. Let's make it hard. So 30. That would have to be 60 then. Yep.
Signing bonus is going to be like.
Are we going to say no void years because the Bengals wouldn't do that?
That is my inclination.
Okay. Only a 15 million signing bonus?
That's 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to get 16 million in cash this year. I think you could offer this and get him, if you give a little more signing bonus, you could, it's a 3-year deal. It's a 3-year total deal.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to do more.
I hear you. What did he get last time on? He got 21 million, right? And a 1-year extension.
One-year extension worth $21 million. And it was an $8 million signing bonus.
Okay. No, then maybe you're right on 15.
Maybe it's 18.
Okay.
Base salary, I do not think is going down.
No, they won't lower it like that.
That's not what the Bengals do. So we're still at 15-8.
If we're the Eagles, we would lower this thing down as much as possible.
Yeah, and we would have void years.
Yeah.
Look at that difference. Wait, why is the cap hit going down?
They structure the cap hit how most teams do, I believe.
Oh, there we go.
It just fixed it.
It was just not updated. I had to. Okay.
So 24.
The cap hit is going up because this $18 million is spread over 3 years.
So it goes up about $5.5 million, right? A little bit less. 5.8.
I call it $6 million.
Yeah.
Just a little bit less than $6 million. Because it should be exactly $6 million because the base salary is the same. Maybe I didn't do exactly the same. 15-8. Oh, there's a per game roster bonus, 200. So this is actually 60.
Comment worth mentioning here. People that are watching on the phone can't see the names and numbers, so make sure we're descriptive on what we're looking at and doing.
Does that help?
Yeah, we're on Trey Hendrickson right now. That is much bigger, by the way. And adding a 2-year extension, $60 million total.
And we're increasing the cap hit on Trey Hendrickson by $6 million because we're giving him a signing bonus. The upside here is if Trey, say he goes from 85 pressures to a full snap load, but he's healthy all year and he only gets 50 pressures and he only has 10 sacks. You keep him for the first year of this extension, but then you can get out of the second year of the extension because we're keeping a lot of this money in salary, which is something the Bengals do.
Yeah, so we're making decisions based on us, someone asked, but we're using the Bengals' preferred structure.
Yeah, so Jay Locke asked this question. So we're doing what we would do, but confining ourselves to not doing very creative contracts.
Right.
Because if we were going to do a very creative contract for Trey, we'll just show it over here real quick. You could do an extension for Trey where we say we can still do that $18 million signing bonus and add 2 years and say we're going to give him $30 million over 2 years as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or $30 million a year. We could take this number and we could say we're actually going to give you the league minimum this year. Actually, I don't know if you could get away with that with an $18 million signing bonus.
Yeah, a little bit more than
Probably
that.
need to go to like 24. This way, Trey's actually making more money this year, right?
Yep.
And then now we got to take, what was this before? Do you remember? What is it was like 16?
Yeah.
Right? So 16 plus 30 divided by 2 is 76. Divided by 2 is 38. You're getting real big cap hits in the next 2 years.
That seems off. 46 plus 46 is already 92 million.
Yeah. 72 because we've lowered the – oh, I forgot about the signing bonus. So we've lowered – so, okay. So we need to pay him $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
60. We've done 24, but we removed 16. Oh, boy. A lot of math here. Let's pull up the old calculator. So 60 minus 24 plus 16 is 52 over 2 years.
There you go.
It would be 26 a year.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. Because it's 64 plus 12, 75, 74, just under, 74,666 over 3 years.
34 plus 34 plus 12.6 divided by 3 is 26. Okay. We've done it.
Yep.
And this is this could be more like, 24, 28.
Yeah.
And then if they don't want to keep him for this last year, you say it's 20 million and you have an $8 million dead hit, which is a lot. But the cap in 2 years is going to be like $1 billion.
Right.
So,
8 million would really be like a $2.5 million hit by that time.
So the reason I'm showing this on over the cap in addition is to say that this 12.6 could be the cap number for this year. There are reasons not to do it this way that we'll get to too. But here we're ending up at a 24, right? So you have a difference of $12 million.
This may be
for
the people right after the Eagles winning, and I use like that table of showing how the Eagles cap hits are so much lower than the Bengals cap hits. This is how the Eagles would probably approach it and add void years, right? We didn't even do that on here. If you wanted to add
Eagles, we'd do something like this.
Right. The number would be 9.5 million this year. You could drop this thing crazy.
Yeah. So this is what an Eagles version of extending trade. Maybe we'll do this. We'll do it in both. And it'll take a little bit longer. But this isn't too bad. As long as I don't get the math messed up for every single one of them. Anyway, what the void year does is it takes this $24 million signing bonus and it spreads it over 2 extra years when he's no longer on the team. This does accelerate, and this would be about a $10 million dead cap hit in 2028. But by 2028, you would expect the salary cap to be like $350 million, $340 million.
That'd be like a $1.8 million hit today.
What?
It'd be like equivalent to today of being like a $1.8 million, $2 million hit.
No, it would be equivalent today of probably being like a $6 million hit or like a $5 million hit. Well, no, if today it was $5 million and in the future it's $10 million.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking 4.8.
Yeah. Because it accelerates. It puts
Yeah,
both
you'd
of
get
the
it
dead years
in the same year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And you can see this with like an AJ Brown contract. This is why when I talk about the Eagles, I say there is a price to be paid. They will be paying a price. There's a $53 million dead cap hit coming for AJ Brown. That could be even bigger if he doesn't make it. If they have to cut him in 2029, that could be like 60. Well, they do a post-June one. Point is, there are big dead cap hits coming for the Eagles, but they will have already won a Super Bowl because they
So it
won it
doesn't
this
matter.
year. So who cares?
Right.
They won a Super Bowl.
They went
and
to
that's the goal.
2 and won 1.
And they could go to more. Okay. Is everybody with us?
I think so. There's a lot of numbers, but we're going to try and keep it moving now. So now let's extend Hendrickson on the Spotrac page. Go with it. See what our cap number looks like now. Obviously, it's only going to drop about $6 million there.
Yeah.
So we're in good shape. We extended Trey Hendrickson for $6 million.
And the interesting thing here is, to me anyway, not to spend too much time on this other page that we're not working on, is this is what gets impacted these 2 years, 2026 and 2027. 2026 goes from 170 to 141. 2027 goes from 229 to 196.
You still have tons of money.
When we talk about minimizing the year one cap hit, and when you start to hear me say, I don't know if we actually need to do that this year. And when you hear me say we don't need to restructure Joe Burrow this year, this is why. Because it's the future years that are severely impacted. And that's why in some cases, it actually makes sense to do what this version, the Spotrac version here, where we're increasing Trey's cap hit this year to minimize the impact on future years. Because
there's a balance to be struck.
Yeah. When you have still $75 million to work with this year, you can get to say unrestricted free agency, get all your extensions done, and try to keep some flexibility on both ends. And then when you get to free agency is when you decide, okay, we need to do a void year for Riley Reef. Okay, we need to do an Orlando Brown structure.
I want to mark something while you're doing it. What was the signing bonus we gave the Trey?
On Spotrac, $18 million.
I just want to keep a running total here
of cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do Jamar.
Okay.
Jamar's extension. That's next?
Yep.
All right. Jamar, we would like to get 4 years.
4 years, 145.
Is that so this is the total value is what this is?
Yep. That's the new money.
So that's 36. That's not enough. I think 38. I think 152.
Okay, fine. We said we wanted to make it harder on us anyways.
And, okay, the other thing to point out there is when we're talking about 142 versus what was the original number you said?
136.
136. That's a lot of millions of dollars. But
or 146.
Right? Either way, we're talking about like $1 million in cap money.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
We're not worried about it.
It's money. It's real money. And the Browns are like, no, I want my money. The Browns being Mike Brown's family. But in the real world, like, who cares? You just got to get the deal done. $38 million is actually lower. So the way that I think about this, I don't know. Do you
percentage?
Look at this, Joe? Yeah.
Yeah. We should talk percentage more often. If you want to champion that, Jake, I
do. And this is how I figure out contracts for Jamar in particular. But look at the history here. Jerry Rice has a record of percent of cap in APY. This is fake.
Right.
This Tyreek Hill thing is fake. He did not get that money. So this is fake. I ignore this, but 14.2%
in 1996.
Yeah. Which at the time was, what happened here? I clicked a sort. I can't unsort it. What's happening?
Jake's very good with the internet, guys, and don't let this fool you.
I am the best at the internet.
You are.
So back in the day, that was only $5.8 million per year, but inflation goes crazy in 20 years, 30, Jesus Christ, 30 years. And now 14.2%, say the cap is that $278 million. You go 0.142 times 278, and then you get to $39.5 million per year. Ooh. So if the Bengals want to give Jamar Chase Jerry Rice money, which wouldn't be the most shocking thing ever, you get to 39.5. That's still not 40. And you're hearing people talk about 40.
40
That's
seems
why
crazy.
I have bristled at 40.
Yep.
Because 40 would be setting a new record for the wide receiver position. Now, if you instead do 13.7, which is what Justin Jefferson and some others have made, you do that times 278, that's where you get the 38.
Yep.
And that's how I come to the 38 number for
Fine.
Jamar Chase.
Let's do 38. What are we talking signing bonus? What Jefferson get last year? Do you remember?
I did use Jefferson's deal as
Right, the baseline. I did as well when I was doing this.
But
Cash payout was 32 million last year.
That's 25.
Oh, that was 25. Oh, yeah. Sure. That's the thing about over the cap. They quickly go to 25. No.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Why
24.
won't you just tell me because they also have an option bonus here. So the signing bonus was 44 because they didn't do it until here.
Right.
So it would be 44.5 minus 1.77 times 4. So the signing bonus is like 38-ish.
Okay, we'll go with 38. I want to point out too on that Jefferson page, if you can go back to it, his cap hit, and we'll get there for Jamar, but the year he signed his extension, his cap hit right there, $8.6 million.
And this is something I'll be doing
to
some degree for Jamar Chase's contract. And my excuse for that, or my rationale for that, is Orlando Brown's deal. And this is the deal that I'm going to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Orlando Brown got the biggest signing bonus in Bengals history for a non-quarterback, or maybe what was Joe's
30?
signing bonus? The Joe anyway got a huge 55? Signing bonus. Definitely the biggest for an external free agent, $31 million. And the reason that they do that is so that they can give Orlando Brown a boatload of money, but they only pay him $1.5 million in base salary. They give him a roster bonus, a per game active roster bonus, and that gets the cap number down to $10.4 million.
This is ideal. This is how most teams would handle it, I think. I think the Bengals should do this more often. It was a good sign that they did this with Orlando Brown Jr. The only thing they didn't do was afterwards is take the easy restructure last year, right? That could have saved $3 million. They didn't add a void year, which the Eagles probably would have done, and lowered these cap hits a little bit more. So there are things that the Bengals could have gone even further with, but this is a positive contract in their history.
And they could extend him this offseason.
They should, probably.
If they wanted to. They might is probably too soft of a word. They 100% have some pretty severe reservations, I think, about his injuries in the last 2 years. So I do not think that they are even considering an extension for Orlando Brown right now, to be clear. But anyway, I think we can go higher here on the signing bonus.
You want to go 40? 42?
I want to keep the base salary
low.
Minimum.
Okay.
Because this is giving Jamar, instead of what's his 5th-year option, $21.8 million that he would get this year. This is something we need to then incorporate into the extension.
You're doubling it then. Yeah.
You're giving him a bunch more money. Here's an extra $20 million, Jamar. And we'll and then you're spreading this cap hit out. Now, here's where we come to this idea of the balancing act in the future years. Do we want to actually give him like $5 million this year?
Well, we don't have to save right now. We'd save $12.3 million this year by extending Chase for a minimum base salary. We spent basically $6 million on Hendrickson.
Was it 6 or was it? Yeah, it was 6. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 5.8 or whatever. So I think we can afford to move some here and be okay and move it up a little bit and not have to make his next few years as expensive as possible.
And this also is not very unusual for the Bengals to do a roster bonus in the first year of an extension. I think this roster bonus was part of Joe Burrow's extension that he signed a couple of years ago. And then there's these option bonuses too. And we don't get to do option bonuses in these tools. Realistically, I think there will be an option bonus for Jamar Chase.
They usually do, right?
I think no, they don't usually. But if we're looking at at Justin Jefferson's deal as a model, I think you end up. This is an entirely fake year, obviously.
What bonuses the Bengals always put in? Roster bonus, right?
Roster bonus, yes.
Okay.
Option bonus, no. Option bonus is a prorated bonus. It's like a secondary signing bonus.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's contract has these, for example, that allow them to prorate money into
That's
void
right.
years and spread out proration in the future, because you can only prorate signing bonuses over 5 years.
That's right. I remember you explaining this to me after I did that show.
So we don't get to get as detailed here as we would want to, like, with some of these options. They don't give us some of these levers because most people aren't aspiring salary cap managers in the NFL like me. And so
I think you press send on this. This still saves you $8 million, $8.3 million.
Yeah.
If we spend 6 of it on Trey, fine. We are neutral at this point with +2. I mean, we still have extra money here.
All right. I think it takes too long to do it on over the cap, so I'm not going to do both.
Okay.
It's just, takes too long. So next would be T.
Yeah. Let's go to T now.
All right, we're going to tag T.
You just want to tag him?
This is an order of operations. When we franchise tag T, now we're down to $60 million in cap space. And now we're going to try to work an extension with T.
Okay.
This cap also is 26, not 24.
Interesting.
So this is actually a little bit lower. They don't understand that this is a second straight tag.
It does. Right. It doesn't get that.
So let's try to sign T.
All right. And I like that they have market value here. 4 years, basically $2 million.
Yeah, I think that's too low.
You think that's too low?
I do. Yep.
That's
all right.
25.5 per year, by the way.
So Tee Higgins is, how old is T?
26.
Tee Higgins is 26 years old. Tee Higgins wants to get back to the market before he's 30. He wants a 3-year deal.
Okay.
All right. Tee Higgins is going to get, you can push back on this if you think I'm wrong.
No,
but I think you need to give him 28
per year.
So
I just had 27.5 on my calculator while you were talking, so I'm with you.
Right. So let's go 28.
Okay.
This is where I'm going Orlando Brown structure.
I agree. Yeah.
So I'm going like a 36. Let's do 30. $30 million.
This would be the reason to sign rather than being tagged as well. So tagging, you're going to get $26.2 million this year. Hey, if you sign, we'll give you 30. You'll also hit free agency this will be 26, 27, 28. You'll also hit free agency before you're 30 years old. You'll be 29 that next season. This will give you a chance to get paid one more time before your career is over.
Yeah, I actually need to do more than 30.
Might do 32.
Because this is all the money he's making this year, essentially. Is going to be this signing bonus, because we're not giving him anything else.
Because you're going to put the lowest base salary possible.
Yeah, and then his cap hits the next couple of years are going to be crazy.
That's the only reason why I would try to balance it a little bit better, because we don't
let's
need
do 30
the cap space this year.
Let's do another 5. We'll do the same. Why are you like this?
You have to type it out. I know.
Let's do 5.5.
Okay.
So cap hit goes from 26.
So they'll make 35 now.
To 15.5. What do you mean?
He'll make 35.
He'll make $35 million, which is great for year one cash flow.
Yeah.
For a wide receiver, and I
take Michael Pittman as the example.
Well, I was going to even just look at Jefferson.
Okay.
Just to see how much money he made in the first year of that deal.
We saw that, right? 38.
That can't be right. It was a $37 million bonus.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So a little bit less than Justin Jefferson made, but pretty dang close. That's pretty good for T.
It's great.
There's a question in the chat. Would you do per game active bonuses for T? I think ideally you would, but I think that wouldn't be taken very well.
It maybe not. Like if he sees it as I'm going to take a deal to stay in Cincinnati because I want to be in Cincinnati, but if I have a great year, a crazy year, a Pro Bowl year, I want to be compensated for it. He should have every right to ask for that. So if that's his way to get a little bit more, if the ball's in his court there, depending if the Bengals are trying to get him cheap or if he's trying to get a little bit more on top of it. So whoever's proposing it, I think makes more sense. And I think it's from T's angle would make sense.
And here's how we do that. We'll take the total value down just a hair to represent that there is some upside in this deal, and he's going to hit somewhere in the middle of it. Let's say this is like a $27 million average annual per year with the opportunity for that to go up to say 29 or 30 in a given year based on incentives.
Right. You make a Pro Bowl here, you made 30 this year. Great.
Yeah. Okay. So Tee Higgins, we're taking another 11.1 on the chin this year.
But actually, it's not that much, right? Because we saved how much? We're really taking about an $8.5 million total hit so far for extending all three guys.
Oh yeah, because you're keeping track of the overall.
Yeah.
How much cash have we spent?
Well, it's a signing bonus here. I didn't add that. Yeah, that
30.
was 30. Great.
30, and then $5 million in salary.
Yep.
Because that is new spend on the salary for T.
I wasn't adding the salary. We could also go back and look at that because it'll be on the main page. But just in signing bonuses, we're now at 90 million. So
okay,
those are our three big signings.
Jamar's salary went down.
Right.
Jamar's salary went down like 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually cash saved. So
and that's basically what we gave to Trey, but that we were already giving him 16 million anyway. So it really wasn't much of a difference anyways. He was on the hook for 16 in cash. So that 15 can now, that difference there goes to Tee Higgins. You really haven't changed base salary much at all. If anything, you have extra.
So we spent how much in cash?
90 million in bonuses, signing bonuses.
90 million. So that still leaves, by my math, like $70 million in cash for the
conservatively 40, right? That like we can spend that on external free agents easily. Well, up to 40. 70. I'm with you.
I think his history would tell us like 60 to 70.
I agree. When I've been doing it and trying to say like, hey, even not going crazy, I'm getting a lot of external free agents.
You're going like uber conservative because my number isn't crazy. My number is like their average spending for cash over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
How does reaching incentives impact the cap? Great question. There's what's called likely to be earned incentives and not likely to be earned incentives on NFL contracts. And the way this works, let's look at Orlando Brown because this is a great example. He has a per game bonus. And Orlando Brown missed, how many games did he play this year? He played
11.
He played 11 out of 17 games this year. So his cap hit for next year, let's see if this already accounts for it or not. We got 6.4 plus 7.775 plus 7.48 or plus 0.748 plus 0.375. So his cap number next year has accounted for this. So what happens is that $748,000 that is on the books for his per game roster bonus next year is prorated or is adjusted based on how many games he played. So that's multiplied by 11 out of 17.
Yeah.
And so as a result,
because
the cap hit for next year instead of being sorry, let me just finish this and then I'll let you get in there.
Well, I just think you're missing a key point there. I just want to make sure I don't forget it.
Okay. Instead of being $15.3 million is $15.03 million. So they save $300,000 in cap space because he missed some games.
Yeah. And the guy who asked the question got hit with an ad. So I'm going to give him 15 seconds here. So what he was saying is there's likely to be earned and not likely to be earned. And the likely to be earned is they're both based on what you did last year. So if it's games played, catches, touchdowns, whatever, if it says I need you to hit 10 touchdowns to hit this incentive, if you hit 10 touchdowns, now next year, that is likely to be earned. If you did not hit it, then it's not likely to be earned. One counts against the cap, likely to be earned. One does not likely to be earned.
And is everybody back from the ads on Twitch? I see that a few people have subscribed on Twitch as well now that I'm looking at Twitch. So shout out to that. 34 in 23, to Dirty 1215, and to Almighty Almac. Appreciate you guys for the resubscriptions. And a couple of gift subs just got given out. 34 and 23 with the gift sub. Thank you for the gift sub. That's very kind of you. You got a hype train going on Twitch. That's pretty cool. If you do subscribe on Twitch, you won't get ads, and we'll get a little pittance. So that's nice. I will try to keep an eye on ads, but no promises. I think I have a button somewhere that I can. I don't even know where this is. Supposedly I can snooze them.
Oh, really?
But yes, we are doing non-Bengals free agents as well. So did we get through the explanation of the...
It looks like he got it.
Oh no, he missed the whole thing.
Well, he just said, "Okay, thank you. That was kind." I don't know if he was
Well,
responding.
he got the gift sub.
Nice.
Yeah. So the way incentives work is they're basically determined based on whether or not you did it the previous year. So if you say there's an incentive for Tee Higgins to get 1,000 yards receiving. If he got 1,000 yards receiving the previous year, that's considered likely to be earned, and that counts against the cap.
And he didn't hit it this year, so you could put it in there and it wouldn't count against you
until he does hit it, and then there's adjustments. Right. But you can definitely maneuver around the cap that way. Okay, let's get back to it. So we're going to ship this contract off for T. This is just south of 28 million per year, but we're assuming that there's some incentives in here so T can make some more money. And hoping that this is what he considers to be a team friendly contract that is still paying him pretty well. It's paying him a lot more than they could have paid him a couple of years ago. Talking about the Michael Pittman example, the Bengals costing themselves money here by waiting, and why we keep talking about the one lesson, the biggest lesson you can take away from the Eagles is pay your damn players as soon as you know they're good.
As evaluation, like so much of what we do is based on evaluation, whether it's free agency, the draft, in-season film reviews, whatever. Be confident in your evaluations. You know what these guys are going to be. It's rarely a shock.
Sign Jesse Bates as soon as possible.
As soon
as possible. His cap hit is like right around Jamar's for this year. Like
Kevin Zeitler. You didn't have to let him reset the guard market. You could have did that as soon as year 3. Bang. Yep. Kevin Zeitler, you're here for the next 8 years.
And what's frustrating about it is the Bengals right now only have 2 players that fit that mold. They could have done it with Jesse Bates too. But like in terms of second contract for players they drafted in the last 5 years, it's Joe Burrow, it's Jamar Chase, it's Tee Higgins, it's Jesse Bates.
They got Logan Wilson done early.
They did get Logan Wilson done early, but yeah, you know what? They deserve credit for that.
Yeah. I was just thinking who else was there, and that was the only other guy.
You two must be very behind. Someone told me to click the button, but I clicked the button like a minute ago.
It depends on when they started the show as well.
Oh, yeah.
It could be behind.
Yeah. All right. So we have done all these deals for this year. I do want to quickly put T's in here.
Okay.
Actually.
To give a fair representation.
Because T's deal, can we actually see what we did here?
I think you can, yeah.
No.
Doesn't show it completely, huh? Just the cap hit.
What else did Okay, what did we do? We did a $30
million bonus. Yep.
We did a $5.5 million base salary.
Correct.
And then we need to make up, what was it? We did 82.
Yep.
So it's 27. So 82 minus 30 divided by 2 is 26. Oh, no, minus 5.5.
33.25.
23.25.
Oh,
33? 23.
Yeah, because we have to get it to 33.25. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because the bonus.
Signing bonus.
Yep.
So the reason that I wanted to do this on Over the Cap as well is to, again, look at this number.
Our future money.
So remember, this was like 100 and, well, we can just look.
70?
We've added cap hits for T and Trey that equal 60 million. So we've eaten a ton of next year, which is why we're talking about bringing some of that money into the
and current. Probably about another 33 for Jamar Chase because we didn't extend him yet on here. But so you're really around 75-ish.
Yeah, I don't remember what we did for Jamar, but yeah, this goes down. And I did this. I have a tweet about this that I could go find. But I put these contracts in to show. I think this goes down to like 92 or something with the structure that I ended up doing, and maybe that was with cutting Geno Stone as well. Well, Geno's only under contract for this year, so that wouldn't impact future years. But anyway, it was like $92 million. When we look at 2026, this is where it starts to get a little bit tricky, is they only have 27 players under contract for next year.
Well, we're going to sign a bunch of guys right now. And I would say as we go to free agency, I'm thinking 6 to 8 players. We need to add depth. We need to add starters. We need to regenerate some of the picks we missed from 2021, recoup them via free agency.
Okay. We're definitely adding players. The other point here is, so we need to get like 26 players and $108 million in cap space. A couple things. One, You got rookie contracts. You're going to be adding 6 rookie contracts this year, and at least 7 rookie contracts. At least 6 this year, at least 7 next year. Very likely, right? Unless they trade picks. So they're going to be rookie contracts. They're going to be 13 out of those 26 players, and then you need 10 more players that will need to fit into like $8 million or $80 million or so, because the rookies take part of the cap space up, and then they'll need to figure out some veterans for the rest. And this year's free agents, as you say, Joe, will play a part in that. So
before we move on, Cindy brought up a question, and so did another guy that I think fits with what we were just talking about, extending players early. And she brings up extend Dax. Like, should they be confident? Only reason you wouldn't talk about it yet is because of the injury. Had he have played the year, he would be someone that you'd be like, hey, let's get him done early. This is a very similar situation to Marvin Jones in year 3 getting hurt and going, you know what, now we need to see year 4, which hurts your chances of extending a player that might be good for you for the future.
I don't think Dax would be amenable to an extension right now. I think he would want to bet on himself, don't you?
What if he played the whole season at corner, played the way he looked, finished it off? I don't see any reason why.
He would make $13 million.
What's that?
He would make $13 million on the open market, I think, if he just like played a full season the way he played last season.
And the 5th-year option then franchise tag would be very similar to that. So that's why you incentivize, hey, here's a signing bonus.
Don't they have to make a choice on this 5th-year option right now?
They would, right? But I'm saying if he would have played, you would pick up that 5th.
Oh, if he would have played, right. Yeah, I would just be trying to extend him.
Yeah, that's what
I was saying. Yeah. Right. But since he didn't play,
right, he should wait.
I don't think the Bengals want to do it. I don't think Dax would want to do it.
Right.
Hey guys, how big of a deal is it if Orlando Brown Jr. liked my post on his faith in the Bengals front office? You're gonna
big deal, huge deal.
Drop the link of that post.
Huge.
What do you
breaking news stuff?
Oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
I'm just no, it is. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I think that's fun.
Are you sure?
These are the fun things. Yes.
I like Orlando Brown.
You should print it out and put it on your wall. Actually,
it really sounds like you're being a dick.
I'm having fun. Like,
all
right, externals, right? Or is there anyone else?
So this is what we're talking about here. Like, is there anybody else that we want to extend? Like Cam Taylor-Britt can't do it.
Can't, because
Dax can't do it. Cordell, like we're talking about cutting Cordell. Somebody's asking about should we cut Cordell?
It's a free $3 million, but honestly, I'd be trying to trade. The Bengals need picks. I can get a 6 for Volson, I think.
Should we do it?
He'd be worth something for someone else.
The quick trade button.
Sure, let's test it out on Cordell Volson.
Wait,
did it tell us what we got?
What we get? Oh.
I don't see anything. They're like, you guys don't get shit for that.
Oh, here we go. We can just hit this include draft full button, and then it puts it. Perfect.
Yeah.
There we go.
I want that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Cordell,
I do think you could get a pick for Cordell Volson. I was thinking of this. How can we get more picks? Is there anyone else on the roster?
Oh no! Wait, where? I can't undo it. He's just gone. Okay. All right.
He's just gone forever.
Sorry, I cut you off.
I even think Geno Stone, like I wanted to go and look at the ramifications of trading a few players and see what the impact cap wise versus getting a draft pick. And it's something I got to still do because it's a process.
Should we just look at externals now?
Yeah. Now we should go to free agents.
Let's look at our dead money picture here. Oh, that's Troy Blackburn having a heart attack. Oh, look at all this dead money. Oh, no. Okay. All right.
Our own first. Anyone that we have to have or think the Bengals will. I actually think the Bengals are letting all these guys go, other than Mike Gesicki.
Cody Ford.
Yes, right. So let's try and get Gesicki, Ford, Hudson, Bocce, Sample, Cal
Adamitis.
Give them all market value, I'd say.
All right, let's take care of our ERFAs.
Yep. Sign minimum.
Grandy's already been done.
Yep. It should be done. So let's just
what's the difference between these?
I don't know. It's going to do that for all of them. But Grandy should be minimum.
Yeah, I mean ERFAs are
automatic returns. You should do all these guys. The very minimum.
Not Cade York.
Not York, unless you want to bring him for camp, but whatever.
Oh God. I just want to get an extension done. I do not want to give him a tender.
Who is this?
This is the long snapper, Adamitis.
Oh, you give him the minimum then.
Okay, we'll do the bigger minimum. Okay.
Cam Sample next.
Those are all the easy ones. Cam Schlample.
Market value is any one of that? Sign minimum, I think he is.
There is no market value for him.
No, so that's why he's minimum.
Yeah, okay. He should probably probably what he would be, right?
Yeah.
How could these fools not already have the Grandy 1-year deal in the data set? I know, right, Toledo? That's what I'm saying. Slacking. Okay, Deontay Smith, no. Jay Tufele, no. Travion Williams, no. Von Bell, no. Joe Bocci, yes.
Minimum.
Tanner Hudson could honestly go either way. Let's just, market value?
For $2 million?
Yeah, I'm good. Cody Ford, market value. I think he's going to make more than that.
I say that's what it is. Let's go with it.
I mean, we'll take it, but what happened?
It's giving you the option of they plug in the market value numbers and it tells you what the cap hit would be, and
boom.
There you go. So that way you can adjust it. Osai, I would urge Osai to look for greener pastures, but the Bengals may be interested.
I think he'll make more than that, right?
I do.
Could we get an 8th rounder for Burton? I wish, Cindy. I wish. All right, Mike Gesicki.
What's market? 1 for 6.6? Sounds about right.
Let's use this as a framework. Let's try to get 2.
All right.
Let's try to double get 2 for 13.
Okay.
God, this fucking. All right, signing bonus. Let's say 4.
Yep, I think that's about right. I was thinking that, so I'm gonna write that down too as signing bonus money for Gesicki.
And this makes him. Holy shit! Does this make him cuttable in year 2?
Easy. That's why it's the easy one to resign. They shouldn't struggle with this.
Let's lay this out in the over the cap just so people can see what this one looks like, because I think this one's actually interesting. When I say this makes him cuttable in year 2, what do I mean? Where is he?
This is what really gets Jake excited, if you guys can't tell.
Oh, I'm in 2026.
Can I cut these guys?
No.
No.
Okay. What did we say? 13.5 or something?
What's the total?
13 over 2. So 9. Well, I guess that would leave 8 million here. Is that right?
I see.
So they're not going to do that. They would do like this.
Increase it just a little, take that to 7.
So this would mean that Mike Gesicki makes $7.5 million in 2025. And he would make another $7 million in 2026 if he could stay on the team. But if in his year 31 season next year, they're like, you're slowing down, Mike. We need to go a different direction next year.
Yeah. Or they find a slot guy that all of a sudden this guy's really good and you're not using Gesicki as much.
Or they draft Tyler Warren.
Right. There's a lot of examples.
They can get out of the deal in year 2 and save $5 million. They still have to eat $2 million.
Whatever.
But okay. I mean, also they could do a void year and then do a post-June 1 cut and really spread this thing out if they wanted to. This is something the Bengals don't do because they're not creative like that, but I wanted to show what that looks like. Okay. Let's extend. Let's do it this way.
Turn his base salary up. Yeah, 2.5 is even fine.
Okay. There we go. All right.
Next was that it? That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel strongly enough about Osai.
I don't either. There's a ton of Osais in free agency this year, actually. There's a lot of these guys that are going to get mixed around. He could come back. That's why I think the market value may be low, because when we go to the spreadsheet, there is a lot of these D-line, whether it's interior or outside guys, that from the 2021 draft that have gotten about 5 sacks in a season. And it's like, okay, you're going to get mixing, which flavor do you want?
I would honestly consider BJ Hill at 18. I don't think the Bengals are considering it at all. I think they want to get younger there.
Did that say 3 for 18 total?
2 for 18 total. Sorry,
2 for
is
18.
that
So
so small?
it was small. Yeah,
I can only go so big here, I think, before it gets unusable. But I don't feel strongly about any of these other guys.
I agree.
All right, let's look at the league. Well,
This is where
let's look at our financial picture first. So 66 now.
we're still in tremendous shape, and we've only spent about.
But remember, guys.
We're just over 100 million in cash so far.
But remember, guys. The Bengals have approximately $46 million in cap space.
How will they do it?
Oh, so freaking hard. All right. I want to see this tweet that you were apparently tagged in. What's your Twitter name, Flam Cheesy?
Flam Cheesy.
Is it Flam Cheesy? I hope it is.
Just tag you, Joker. Okay.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Oh.
One person who I think has an ear to the Bengals front office besides Joe Burrow is Orlando Brown. He's spoken before about being in the facility, floating around offices. He is confident in the Bengals front office, and he liked this tweet.
Nice.
Orlando is out here searching his name.
He is searching his name. This is a good time for you guys to tweet. I think Orlando Brown Jr. is a great man. Or whatever. Come get creative. Did the Blackburns write that article for Adam Schefter? Yeah, that would be exactly. Dude, I get so weary of some of these numbers that get floated around this time, whether it's from the player perspective of like, oh, T could get $32 million. I'm like, shut up. Stop doing this shit, number one, because it's going to get to the player. Number two, when they're like, the Bengals don't have any money, I'm like, that's coming from the goddamn team.
I wonder about that.
I don't know
because I talked to, well, no, I mean, it definitely could. I talked to someone who was at Radio Row, and they were telling me about how all these national reporters they talked to are like, why am I even talking to these national reporters? Talking about how the Bengals went out of space, and like nobody knows the team as well as the locals do.
Right.
And it's true. But also
half the locals I wouldn't listen to either. Not to get on that. We can skip over that. But.
Yeah, we have not talked about Trey Hendrickson outside of extending him in this episode or in this live stream. The person that was down there was saying how like all of these national people they talked to were talking about how constrained the Bengals are from the cap.
It's so stupid.
Why aren't the Bengals more creative with how they work the numbers and cap space, etc.? We will answer that fantastic question, Jerry, in like a half hour. Or maybe it'll just come up. Okay, let's sign some external free agents.
I wish there was a way to sort this.
Yeah.
It's really what I need.
Let's just look at our handy dandy tier list here. Who do we want to target? So we've signed T. We want to go after Milton Williams. This is us. So we're allowed to do that, right?
Yeah. Money wise, it would be you're talking $30 million in cash again. You're really gonna, if not more, right? 35 million. I could see him getting year one. Yeah, there you go. You can search. That helps.
Boom. Market value, 36 million over 3 years. Easy. See, this is why you can't trust these market values. That's not correct.
That is not correct. He's going to get 25 million a year. Now the problem is, and I did this for subscribers, is I went and looked at his like traditional stats for he and like Odigizua. They're not crazy. Like those guys don't get paid. This isn't Justin Matabike getting 14 sacks, right? This is 5 sacks.
Well, and that's going to suppress his number, I think, from 25 to closer to 20.
Yeah.
But that is a problem with both of those guys. The other problem, okay, let's talk about this. Is Milton Williams the guy that we want to go after? The other problem is, do you then need to go like draft Tyleek Williams if you draft Milton Williams? Because you need a guy that can actually defend the run. Because they would not have.
I mean, Chris Jenkins, McKinley Jackson are supposed to be what those picks were for.
That's not what they are.
They're supposed to defend the run.
This is us, though. We know what they are.
Well, if they're going to be anything, it's going to be solid run defenders. It's not going to be pass rusher.
I think that they are okay. That's
charitable.
I think that there were some flashes. I agree with you that there were some flashes from.
I want them to be DT 3 and 4 though. No better than that, right?
Are we thinking we're drafting one?
Yeah.
Let them develop, Jake. Fair point.
But let them develop as 3 and 4. Do not plan on them being better. Hope they're better.
Mike, Get on your lunch break and get in here.
Mike.
Come make jokes.
I'm with you. Some of the tape was horrendous for Chris last year, but that's what he was in college. If he's going to be anything, it's that. They may have. He's a 300-pound run defender. It is not great.
It's tough.
Stuff.
It's tough. You got to. Maybe he can add 20 pounds. Maybe he can like get closer to his dad's size a little bit. Not that he's ever gonna like. What did his dad play at, like 350? Like he's not getting that big, but maybe he could add some weight.
Can we, while teams are fighting over Milton Williams, can we just go get Osa Odigizua?
I think teams are fighting over him too, but we can do that. I think we're still talking 20 million. Like his market value. Like this is closer to the market value. I think.
Yeah.
This is. Yeah. Is Tershawn Wharton in here? Me. Surely.
There he is. Yep. And I think James and I are the only ones with anything on him.
You're the only one.
Oh, I'm the only one. I was looking at below.
Mike Williams. Yeah, I didn't watch Wharton very much this year. I would have some concerns there. Like you can
look at his PFF at the very least. He does get a pass rush win, decent amount, and he can give you a little bit of push. He just had a 90 game, I think, in the Super Bowl. That's why people are on it.
Oh, did he? I'd be looking. Enrique for sure. I would also be talking about Tier Tart again if last year didn't happen with Tier Tart.
Can you sort by defensive tackles if we want to really get an idea if we should go for Milton Williams? Look at IDL and D tackle. I'd assume they're under both. Part of the plan of going after a top guy is, all right, well, what about the rest of the class? Is there enough guys here that we like and could go after?
Oh, Calais Campbell for sure. I'm doing it right now.
1 for 7? Hell yeah.
Nah, he's not making that much. This is more than I think he's making too, but why? What do you?
Yeah, that does make sense. Make sure you click on that.
I guess
the base would have to be 4. Yeah, the base would have.
They make you figure out the base salary for the year. They're not thinking about future. Okay, whatever. Got him.
Okay, I like it.
We did it. We finally sound.
Can we find another D tackle though? Can you go to the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Is there a young guy here like Bobby Brown, who's 25 years old, that may have some upside left in him? What are you sorting by now? Age?
I mean, owns Enrique, right? Could afford. Do you know anything about Bobby Brown?
Yeah, and we had a decent grade on him coming out. He's been a rotational player for the Rams. He's a solid D tackle number 3 type, and I'd like to secure that back into the roster in case Jenkins and Jackson don't take a step. He's more of an athletic under tackle than he is a nose. Like Roy Lopez, though, for the Cardinals. I think he played a bunch of nose, and he's only 28. If you want some veteran depth to go with McKinley Jackson at the nose for the times you do use them, I would also be in on Roy Lopez. Neither of these guys should cost anything, and I think we need to upgrade our defensive tackle depth.
I like it. All right.
What do they got for him? 1 for 3 for starting / veteran nose tackle type.
Let's just look at
what's Bobby Brown in here.
Like, shouldn't we just do this?
4.5? You should have probably did that instead of Calais Campbell.
Why not both?
I agree. You don't have any pass rushing D tackles on the roster.
Calais Campbell isn't just a pass rusher either.
No, but that's where I'm using him also, because he'll bat passes.
Yeah. Okay. So these guys and a nose tackle. And we're passing on the top end of the market. Where are we spending where's our one big contract going then?
Guard.
That'd be my question. Guard? Okay, great. All right.
Maybe a D end. Is there a D end out there?
No, not really.
I feel like this is
Chase Young.
Yeah, I think Chase Young might be the big spend then. I would like to do that.
I do think this is like 16, not 9.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's like a $5 million.
Yeah. Someone said Josh Sweat at end, maybe.
Yeah. Trey Smith. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about Trey Smith. Ojulari. I am so far out on Ojulari.
Oh, me too. He's Osai. Ojulari's Osai. You're gonna spend big money on Osai? You're not gonna do
He's
that.
worse Osai.
I agree. I put the numbers together at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I was out on him at the trade deadline. I'm out on him now. That's actually like one of my biggest fears of free agency is that they're like, we're gonna go spend like $12 million a year on Ojulari, which would be a gross overpay. And like that's our plan.
And he'll be a fine player, so it's like hard to tell people why they're wasting money there because like even Osai is a fine player, right? But if you spent 12 million on Osai, I gotta tell you, like, it's a waste.
People really want Milton Williams.
He's gonna get such a big payday.
Let's just look at Levi Onwuzurike because he's like, you would think he would be a big impact player on that Detroit line, and he hasn't been.
Yeah.
He's been a decent pass rusher. He's
fine.
Just not finishing. Was better this year. Missed 2022 entirely. What was his injury? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Wonder if that derailed his career. I mean, missing year 2 is brutal.
Yep. And then to come back year 3 and 4 and play solid play is good. Back injury.
Does this look reasonable here? We got $8 million cash year 1,
5.5,
and a big out in year 2.
This is like a Geno Stone contract.
This is very much like a Geno Stone contract. Geno Stone's base salary in year 1 was maybe a little bit higher. Maybe the signing bonus was a little bit lower, but yeah. Do I have Geno Stone's contract here? Oh no, yeah, this is very much a Geno Stone contract. They did it in a roster bonus instead of salary.
Right.
Okay. So we got Onwuzurike, we got Calais Campbell,
Chase Young. Or go look at ends.
Let's look at edge
spreadsheet.
Well, hold on. Do we want to get this?
Any of these other guys, I would be in favor of for defensive tackle. There was someone else too. I had my eye on. I just want to look at it real quick.
Was he older?
No, I was thinking of other guys I had good grades on pre-draft type, like James Lynch down below. I mean, we're talking base minimum. He's a minimum. Bring him on the roster and see if he can do anything for you. Solomon Thomas continues to get 4 sacks every year, but he's a pass rusher. I think we need to get a little bit of body in there with the 2 guys we signed.
What about these guys? Who are these guys? TJ Slayton, Roy Lopez. Tackle radius.
Yep, I'd miss tackles for him. The only reason that brings his grade down because his run defense is okay. You know, he gets you.
That kills his grade. Like, this is probably more representative of what you're getting from him.
Yeah.
Because PFF kills guys for missed tackles.
They do.
Playing a lot of nose, too.
Yeah. That's why I said he's the guy I would like. All right, you need to get a veteran in here that doesn't cost a lot to work with McKinley Jackson at the nose spot. If you're not going for Poona Ford, T.R. Tart, you know, that's who may get more money. Roy Lopez is an underrated dude. I don't know much about Slayton. I remember looking up his profile from 2021, though, from Florida. That's all right.
Playing over guards quite a bit.
He's 330, though. 6'5", 330. You can also see that if you scroll all the way to the right on this.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't.
Versus B gap.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
I think I have seen that before.
He had a good game. Which game was it? Oh, yeah, L.A. There's a couple of them, though. L.A., Seattle, limited snaps. Detroit. I was looking at that for some guards. There were some guards that were cheap that had, like, multiple 80s games, and I'm like, all right.
These guys are the same.
So with Lopez, though, since he plays more nose,
like $3.5 million.
That's basically the cost of BJ Hill is your spending for these 3, right?
Roughly.
Yeah. What was Hill at? 18 million per year.
We're on another ad break, apparently. What was who at? BJ?
Was BJ Hill 18 million per year?
Per year.
Or was that total? 2 years, 18.
I think it was like 10 million a year.
Okay. I'm thinking of what we cut on Rankins and Hill what could we spend at D tackle if we really wanted to. But the Bengals were a little inflated on their D line.
Hill was a 3-year, $30 million contract. His cap hit last year was 10.8.
Okay. And Rankins was just under 12, right? 11.8 or something.
I think.
So we're still getting cheaper with Calais Campbell, Ozarinke, and Lopez here if we do that.
And people are asking for a quick recap of the last few minutes. We've been debating which nose tackle we don't know much about we want to sign. And we'll just do the market value here. Sure. I don't know enough to argue. I think this is probably a little bit too high, but why does this keep
happening? Doesn't that auto add? It was doing it yesterday for me to auto add.
Okay, close enough.
Yeah, we'll take it. Let's check our money now after the defensive tackle position's pretty much been signed up. Let's see where we're at.
We have so much money.
We have so much money. Now let's spend a nut on Chase Young, or let's go to the defensive end room. Young was really good last year. Most of it was at right defensive end, though. Gives me some pause. He's played a lot of left defensive end. But his big year last year was at right end.
So there's Sweat. I don't think Mac is in play. There's Chase Young. There's Odeyingbo.
Son Reddick. Baron Browning.
I'm not in on Baron Browning.
Dante Fowler continues to get 11 sacks every year. I know he's older. Can you
not
sort
on Ojulari?
Can you sort the edge?
Yeah. Just look at edge.
Because I want to say we probably need a depth guy as well if we're losing Osai.
Why didn't that work? I need these categorizations to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
No hybrids.
No, it's unnecessary. Cam Brown is linebacker all the way though. Anyways, right? USC. You remember him?
I assume there's a reason. Well, he didn't play at all. Okay. All right.
I see Mike Sands has a Gardock right there. I had to go look up who this guy was after Mike put a 3 on him.
Oh, Dennis Gardock?
Yeah. I was like, what are we talking about?
If he wasn't 31, I would be in.
Yeah.
Barnett is actually really interesting.
Barnett continues to produce. He had a solid 2 years now, the last 2 years.
And he
Michael
can play both
Hoyt
ways.
is more of a D tackle, but he can actually play.
Hot is that how you say his name? He used to be a defensive tackle and he lost weight and now he's playing outside linebacker. He's playing 2-point stance pass rusher for the Rams the last 2 years. It's crazy.
Look up Patrick Jones as well. Like the Vikings got all of these guys. They took a bunch of these like guys that probably haven't done anything, and they got production out of all of them, whether it was at corner, D line. I need to go look up who their coaches are. But
who do you want to look at first here?
If we want to spend the money, to me, it's either Sweat or Young at the top, right?
Yeah, I like Sweat. I was thinking of a secondary guy.
Like a secondary guy, right? Like Cleveland Farrell. I'd like to take a
how much
on.
is Derek Barnett going to make? Because he can play both. He can be a 3-down player.
I have to look at his last contract and get an idea.
We can look at. He's probably in PFF's free agents, right?
I said Hoyt, right? I said Michael Hoyt.
Yeah, it is Hoyt. Okay.
Someone's getting us on.
I said however you pronounce it. They're
okay.
Let's see if Barnett's in here. Yeah. So we got him. I mean, I'm doing this deal for Derek Barnett. Hell yeah.
I know.
Browning is scary to me. Browning is like a 1-year flash in the pan type player. Derek Barnett, I think you know what you're getting.
Browning had good production profile and win rate coming out, and that's the only reason why I'd be okay. There's still some, there's still something there for him.
I mean, Denver had a good defense that traded him away.
Yep. Who are the other guys that were there? Can you go back to the spreadsheet?
DJ Jones.
Patrick Jones,
nose tackle, says Mike. We should have got DJ Jones apparently.
Yeah, he's still a pretty solid player. We look at Patrick Jones. Yeah, I think I put a 4 or 4.
I think he's in here. Let's see if we have a contract in here.
No, it's just going to be Ernest Jones, DJ Jones.
Yeah, we should have done DJ Jones. We've made a huge mistake.
How much?
9.
See, that's
9 over 2. 9 over 2. 9 over 2. 4.5. Who am I looking up?
Patrick Jones.
Patrick Jones II.
Did I put a 4.5 or a 3.5? You got it. Pat. I think it might be under Pat.
Third round pick. Pittsburgh Panthers.
Yeah, remember him? There was a couple pick guys that year. There was a D tackle as well. But he's had a couple of games. He's getting you a couple sacks, right? That's 5 last year. I can't see it from here actually. 7.
But
the grades aren't great. I know.
In the first 2 games of the season against New York, and then 2 against Tennessee, like 4 of his sacks against the true dregs of the NFL.
Yeah, I'm talking though. We're giving him a minimum deal. We're trying to raise the floor of the depth here. He can compete with Cam Sample for DN4.
Where did we go? Okay. What was his name? Pat Jones? Can I love this DJ Jones idea. Can we go for that?
You can undo if you don't like Roy Lopez.
$11?
They got him higher.
Let's just give him the. Is Al going to move to multiple fronts? There will be multiple fronts to some degree, but they're going to be.
He used it at Notre Dame.
Base. But he also said we're going to be a 4-3 base.
He did
2 years.
Well, he said a 4-2 base. He said,
"Oh no, they have it. They do have DJ Jones at $9 million a year, so that is more."
Right. See, that's a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a nose tackle in a 4-2, 4-3 base of that caliber?
No. What was the Arizona guy's name?
No, you already fucking released Roy Lopez. All right, we had to rescind the contract. We Larry Ogunjobi him from Chicago.
It's actually not on the list anymore.
You killed him.
So we're doing Slayton.
We pulled the Chicago Bears.
All right. So you want to do which defensive end is a big defensive end we want to do?
It's either Sweat or Chase Young. Let's look at the two, what they say the market values are, and let's make a decision from there.
3 years, 56.
Holy shit. And then what's Chase Young?
That's not very much.
It's still almost $20 million a year. I feel like we're getting Hendrickson at such a deal.
Yeah, but he's about to make a lot more than that. 18 for Josh Sweat? That's not bad.
I think it's a lot. And even with the extension, though, with Hendrickson, we're still getting him at $26 million a year.
Yeah, this is $8 million cheaper.
He's at 10 sacks.
4 years, 70. 17 and a half. More upside here, but all the questions that come with Chase Young.
All the questions. Do we want to be the team that pays him? Where I actually like Josh Sweat's character and listen to him answering questions on Media Row, or whatever that's called, Media Day for Super Bowl. Day. Yeah.
Also, like he's been better in the past. He's been consistent. He's been on a team with a lot of dudes.
Right. He's they're all feasting there.
Mm-hmm. Whereas Chase Young is younger.
Higher pedigree. Sweat had an injury, right? That wiped his season out. So did Chase Young.
Kuntz should be in consideration.
Similar snaps. Although, I don't know if that's a running total. I feel like if we're counting postseason snaps as well or not.
I don't think this is including postseason.
Okay.
Maybe it is. No, 821 with postseason.
It's probably fair to not include postseason there.
What do you think about Malcolm Kuntz?
I'm fine, but missing the whole season last year, I'll take him as a depth guy and see what he's. I'm not going to give him more than like $3.5 million a year. I think for 1 year and just see what he does.
Yeah, and he's going to make a lot more than that. So we're not doing that one. The chat says, "Stop thinking like the Bengals and get Sweat, who is proven."
I mean, the top 3 guys here, even Lawrence, are all proven. The top 4 guys are proven.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're saying Chase Young, we're just banking on potential here. He's 26, high pedigree. We're talking about number 2 pick in the draft. That just had a great year.
Great year?
Yeah,
Good.
go look up who's the O-line guy on Twitter.
Oh,
Brandon Thorne, his win rate stuff. Chase Young is. Did you know the exact name of it?
Isn't that what he calls it?
I can't read what you're saying or typing because it's so small.
True pass rush win rate.
Yeah, but you're gonna get everything, aren't you? You have to go to Brandon Thorne's profile first and then search from his name. There you go. Is this Edge?
I
Yeah,
can't make this bigger.
Zoom on this. There we go. Chase Young.
That's pretty good. That's per high quality pressure. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty
He's up
good.
there with Jared Verse, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, who had a great year again.
True pressure rate, 44.8. What does that mean? Snaps per pressure, 7.7 versus Trey Hendrickson, 7.4.
Right. You're talking, right. You're gonna get the pressure with those two pretty consistently.
Here's Josh Sweat, 8.3. So like close, but a little bit worse in terms of this particular charting.
And he's coming off a D line that was absolutely loaded and rotating and just sending green waves at you.
All right, we're taking a risk here. Doing a big contract for Chase Young.
You're gonna have to touch that base salary more than likely to match.
Well, this is a 4-year deal.
This is a 4-year deal. So we can.
I would like it to be a 3-year deal.
I would too.
Right?
Yeah. You can do 3 at 18 per. 54.
17.18 times 3, 654. Signing bonus will come down
20. You need another 0 on that signing bonus.
So I do.
There you go. Yeah. You got 4 years there. Can you give us 3? I thought you did, but there you go.
Ty is lost says, just make me want Milton Williams more. Chase would be Stone 2.0. Montgomery coached Muhammad from the Lions and Equale Y is from the Patriots.
Why would Chase Young be Geno Stone? We're talking about an undrafted player in Geno Stone versus a unanimous,
a disappointing career for a top 2 pick. Who Bengals fans were arguing they should have taken instead of Joe Burrow.
Yeah. You're bringing him back to Ohio with people he knows too. I mean, he knows Joe Burrow.
I'm doing it. Quick recap on who we've signed so far.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, come on.
We still have $50 million to spend,
we can't
guys.
spend money. We can't. It's impossible. We're probably not doing Bengals deals. Okay, so who
we should
be
putting the base salary a little bit higher, maybe.
Yeah.
But we'd still probably be sitting at $25 million.
I mean, conservatively, right? Okay, so we signed. We've extended Trey. We've extended T. Or Jamar. We've re-signed T. We signed Chase Young. We signed Levi Onwuzurike. We signed Calais Campbell. We've signed. We've re-signed Mike Gesicki. We signed TJ Slayton to be a nose tackle, depth nose tackle. We signed Cody Ford to be a depth offensive lineman, like offensive lineman 8, ideally. We got Cam Sample to compete for the last edge job. We got Joe Bacci back in the building because Al Golden loves that guy. Jackson Kirkland was an exclusive rights free agent, as was Ryan Rico and Cam Grandy. And that's what we've done so far. So we have infinity dollars left.
So I would like to nominate Paulson Adebo.
Paulson Adebo. You want to go big on
let's see what the money is first. Let's see what they say. So the guy only played 7 games last year. If you want to bring up his PFF thing too. Let's see what they say the money is on both of these, on PFF and Spotrac.
So we got 13.3 a year.
Well, that's a little bit.
On a 3-year.
That's a little bit. Okay,
this would be a Cheeto signing.
This is a Cheeto signing. This is what I compared it to. Yes. A guy who had the pedigree, was a good prospect, is still young. He's 25, has had production. You go over to his ball production to the right, if you could.
This feels too easy, says chat. I mean, really good this year.
They say 7 PBUs, but I saw 10 on ESPN also. 11 the year before, 7 the year before that. He gets his hands on the ball, 3 picks, 4 picks, 7 the last 2 years, while only allowing 2 touchdowns.
Good couple of years. This is a Cheeto move.
Yeah.
I like it. You talked me into it.
And you're not spending crazy money, especially let's see what Spotrac says as his market value.
Should we go to a guard first?
Maybe.
Back to this. 2 years, 11.
Yeah, I'm all over 2 years at 11 per. All over that.
Let's do a guard first.
Let's do a guard first. But put a pin in that as if we still have money to spend, which I think we can anticipate that. Yeah, because I think guard's more of a conversation before we go to some things that people aren't ready for, maybe. You're going to want to put left guard, right guard, interior O-line.
Jesus Christ.
I know. We need to, but I like the specificity of it.
Specificity.
Thank you.
Okay, how many people in chat would like us to sign Trey Smith? Can I do a poll?
With everything that comes with it. So I looked this up today. 65 pass block grade, 53, I want to say, true pass set grade this season. He's a run blocker. He's nasty. He's good. We love Trey Smith. We want him to draft Trey Smith when he costs $1 million a year. Are you ready for $18 to $22 million per year? Let's just say 20 for a nasty run blocker that is an okay pass blocker. Is that worth it?
It was a very bad pass blocker in the playoffs.
It was. I'd rather spend that money on Kevin Zeitler. And it's not similar money. And Kevin Zeitler's only a 66 or 67 true pass blocker, but that's good. That's quality. You're only getting him for a year at a time, and maybe it's $9 million for 1 year. He's been cheaper, but he continues to play well, so I think that helps.
The guy a lot of fans want, I think, the one that I've seen on social media the most is Will Fries or Fries or however you say his name.
I'm in on James Daniels as well.
He's coming off injury.
Pull up his PFF grades.
I know he's good, and we loved him as a prospect. He's just coming off injury.
I know.
Tough.
I think that makes him a person I would target. Like if we're saying he's been good, he was on his way to having a career year this year. It was early, but the man put in 3 dominant games to start the year.
I mean, these are good defenses right here.
Yeah, and he was like, no problem. And look at his career.
What was his injury?
He's never been. I think it was knee. Does it say here?
Achilles. Oof.
Oh, that makes it tough. He's had a full year to recover, though. But yes, that makes it tough. He would have to be minimum deal and see what he can do. You'd still have to sign Zeitler and James Daniels, right? But you could probably do that for Kappa's money.
I was trying to find any information about his recovery.
5.5 for the year. There's other options, though. Go back to the spreadsheet. I would also be into super cheap, throw money at Nate Herbig. He's still only 27. He's always been able to produce. I want to fill out the depth of this team as much as possible on the O-line, especially at guard.
I feel like that means you're talking about like
4s and 5s. Yeah, 4.5s and 5s. Guys that could potentially outplay.
Yeah, I guess he fits. He's just younger. Like Brunskill would be a depth type signing. Like guys that are not very exciting. John Feliciano.
Ben Barge on only 65 snaps, but again, from that 2020 class, 2021 class. Can't remember which one he was. He was at the that's when I was at the Senior Bowl, so I want to say 2020. Evan Brown continues to be solid. but unspectacular. But if we're talking, it's $2 million, $2.5 million a year. I mean, why wouldn't I?
Where's Tevin Jenkins in here?
He must be listed as O-line, just straight up O-line. OL. Yep. I bet he is. We probably got more options, actually.
Oh, my God. I hate it.
Right, because there's Becton.
I like Macari.
I do like Macari, too. And he had a similar grade to Kevin Zeitler in true pass sets, 11th best of all interior linemen, that interior guards that played 50% of the snaps. So, like, decent for Macari. He's got potential to kick out the tackle if you absolutely need to.
Mm-hmm. And he was like solid there too.
This is actually a loaded. I agree with the comment. Came up at the same time. This is a loaded guard class. You should be able to pick one starter and one hopeful depth guy that maybe has something to him.
I don't know about loaded, because that implies good to me. It's loaded with like mid-tier
options.
Guys.
Every team could get one. How many guys go down? Scroll down. How many numbers is that? Does it tell us? It won't, because it's got because we're sorting it by
47 of 629.
47 players there, and not all of them are good. But if there's 20, that's a lot.
I think there's like 10
that are good.
That are like starter or better.
Well, I had this question on Twitter today. What would Volson be? I think he'd be a 4.0. Like Ben Bredesen, Dylan Radins.
Sure. I mean, 4s are not starters in my eyes.
Not good starters.
They're like, you hope that they are better than they've been.
Yes. You're banking on the 27, 28, 29 prime years of that lineman finally stabilizing, and which tends to happen. Becton, I'm not signing a 33-year-old 4.0 to start. Am I right? Like Laken Tomlinson?
Yeah. Mekhi Becton, I don't think is in the cards for the Bengals. I think that I would like to target Macari if it were me. Is that crazy? No. He just played a full year.
Can I get you to put a value next to his name?
I haven't yet.
I haven't yet.
Is it a bad idea to try to sign another Raven that the Ravens are letting walk?
Ben Cleveland. Can I sign Ben Cleveland as a depth? Hope he's better in his older years?
We gotta pick our starter first. Then we can come back to depth. You keep talking about these old draft crushes of yours, James or Joe.
Yep. I think it should be Kevin Zeitler, Brandon Scherf, Patrick Macari. I would love James Daniels to be healthy. I don't know what he is. Can't bank on it, so I want to start with one of those guys at the top. Ideally, I'd go with the 28-year-old. Although Kevin Zeitler, there's a benefit here. Get him back here, win a Super Bowl with him. He goes to the Ring of Honor off 6 years in Cincinnati. He's been good.
Great scheme fit for him up in Detroit, but he was good in Baltimore too. The only thing with Zeitler is you constantly have to worry at that age that like
What's
cliff
the last
is
year?
Coming.
Yeah. Look how many good games he had.
Yeah, I know. He's good
games. And his true pass sets were still good. Like I said, I looked it up. It was like 65, which is right with Macari. So he's like 10th or 12th in the league. They won't give you a grade per game, which I hate. But
no, this is so stupid. But you can. I'm just looking at the.
You can look at the efficiency and all that. It's still 96.4. I think that reads. That's still fine in true pass sets. Still a decent amount of them overall. He had some big games too in pass pro.
Worst true pass set numbers, it appears.
Slightly worse. He's got to hold the ball quite longer than Zeitler does. True.
And most of this is Philly. So
just getting his ass beat by Philly as everyone did.
Yeah.
You can go look at all these linemen, and one of their worst 3 games are going to be against Philly every time.
I mean, it's really like his only terrible game all year.
Look how he ended the year.
Yeah.
I would take that heartbeat. And he's 28.
And he's played tackle.
He has played tackle.
Both tackles. And I think both guards. Can we see
where's Dalton Reisner on that list?
Does it show us positions? So he's played.
If you scroll to the right.
So he played left tackle. Oh, he's played left guard this year, and he's played right guard before. Yeah, man, he's played center. I forgot he played center.
Every position. He can play whatever you need him to be. It's a Ted Karras signing, in my opinion. I don't think he breaks the bank, but I think you get good money, quality play for him.
Former undrafted free agent.
Right. That's why I'm saying Ted Karras. Pedigree's not high. I would be in on Tevin Jenkins. I'm with the people
Reisner
that are
not a free agent or something.
Reisner should be on there. Yeah,
he's not on our sheet.
He was originally. I saw him on the thing.
He's not in the PFF thing.
Oh.
He is here.
He's on there. If you go back to the spreadsheet and eliminate that, or maybe they were missing. Just a G. There you go. Now we got it.
I hate it.
All right, let's see. There's Tevin Jenkins.
There's Risner. Okay.
There's Dalton Reisner.
Jenkins would be the other one to consider for sure.
Yes,
he's got the injury stuff. I'm on Macari.
Jenkins has been good every year. Good pedigree. It's really just the back injury that is. I mean, he's had a rash of injuries, I guess is fair to say. We're talking about $10 million here for
Macari. That's a what's his name contract?
You're giving him Kappa's contract and saying, here you go. I say give him market value. Let's do it.
Let's ratchet up our base salaries here a little bit.
Yep. Oh, I stopped writing down the cash bonus money we're giving out. Is there a reason Reisner's available every year? Apparently, he's kind of a dick, and he doesn't always mesh. But he's a good player. I'd take him. It's been 3 years running of us like, hey, get Dalton Reisner. We wanted him in the draft.
Okay, and then the other one you liked was what was the depth?
Debo?
No, the depth guard. We could go Debo.
I'll take Brady Christensen. I will take.
You're so stuck on Brady Christensen. Holy shit,
dude!
Hasn't he been terrible as a pro?
Go to the spreadsheet. Well, let's check it. He's played every single position, I believe.
Oh, he finally had some good games. He hasn't been as bad as I thought. Okay.
Right. I'm not talking about. He's played left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle.
Am I thinking of a different player?
No, you're thinking of him. Yeah. Yeah.
Pillow hands?
Yeah. Hey, look at that last game there versus Atlanta. He's had a good game. This is one of the guys that I was like, he's had like 4 good games. I would take 3.
2.
Oh, you're counting the 76?
No, 1, 2.
And then the last one. Oh, he didn't play. I see.
9 snaps.
Yeah.
And they're all at inline tight end.
Nice. Perfect. Perfect depth signing. Or are we talking we need 2 veterans to potentially start? He can compete with Cody Ford and a draft pick.
300 pounds.
6'6", 302. Not a lot of meat on him. There was other guys go to the spreadsheet.
I thought there was somebody in particular that you like, Aaron Banks or something.
Go down. Nate Herbig.
Oh, Nate Herbig. Just want a Herbig.
I would like a Herbig.
Get you oh, he did. He wasn't.
It says he played snaps. What's the confusion? I guess
played
not.
In 23.
And that say he played snaps on our spreadsheet?
Sure did.
I'm going to talk to Neil about this.
Boom!
That makes it a little tougher. Let's get a guy who's played. Scroll down. I think there was someone else. Ben Cleveland.
The 2 Ravens.
He couldn't beat out Macari, so we're going to stop them from going against. I don't think he ever has done anything.
Yeah, I think he's been bad. Like, he's been a liability when he's been on the field for them, from what I recall.
23. I thought he was going to get a chance after 2023, but
I think he's had chances.
Yeah, he shot himself in the penis every time. I'm sorry, is that too descriptive?
That's something, man.
Your boy Netani Muti out here, 0 snaps, but only 26. Can Isaiah Wynn play?
What about a Saint?
How about Matt Pryor? He's 30, isn't he? How did he get
but who cares? He also played 1,000 snaps, so that's going to be. How about Dan Skipper? Did he get hurt?
He's not actually good. How about Kendrick Green?
Oh man, hasn't he been an unmitigated disaster?
I believe so. Oh my God, look at that pass protection.
The left guard. Not so good.
I told you Brady Christensen. You
All right,
laughed at
fine,
me
Joe.
for fucking 5 minutes before we got to the bottom of it.
I mean, I don't think he's a guard. He weighs 300 pounds, but
I
okay.
know. We're talking about 1 year for $2 million. What the hell?
You don't get a signing bonus.
You get exactly what your base salary is.
Okay.
Actually, did that auto populate when you did it that way?
I copied and pasted.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that might be the way to do it then.
We still have infinity dollars, so.
Okay. So is there a backup running back? Is there a.
Let's do a Debo here.
Let's do a Debo.
Let's say you're going to get like a
4, 6.
I need some bigger cap hits.
Okay. You might as well.
Who is the guy you just said?
Did we cut Pratt? Because we got to look at linebacker. I see Divine Diablo.
Oh, yeah.
There. We never pulled up the linebacker spreadsheet.
We need to look at safety too.
We do.
How many different designations for linebacker do we have?
Who knows? I don't think I've ever looked at the linebacker sheet yet. Okay. Jamien Sherwood's interesting. Just played a full season starting for the Jets. KJ Britt is a thumper.
Didn't they have no KJ Henry?
Yeah, that's a different guy. KJ Britt is a thumper. Auburn, I remember. It'd been nice. I think that'd be a good fit with Logan Wilson. Shouldn't be cost too much either. Devin Bush. Now go put Devin Bush's PFF. We want to get a Zach Bond replacement, like reclamation.
I think he's still bad, isn't he?
Oh, I'm about to blow your mind here.
Wow.
Well, he might be back. Devin Bush might be back. Still young. Pedigree. I plan on drafting a linebacker anyway.
Cleveland.
You know what I'm saying?
Cleveland specializes in tiny linebackers, huh?
Yeah. Devin Bush on the AFC North tour. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of guys though. Terrell Dodson's a fun player, athletic but small. Went from
where's Drake Greenlaw in here?
Oh, he's in there somewhere. There he is. Yeah.
He's hurt, but he's good.
There's Cody Barton is a good player.
Yeah, he's Duke, right?
Cody Barton?
Wasn't he? I think it's somebody else.
Washington?
Oh, Utah. That's right. He was on that. There were a couple of linebackers on that Utah team.
Yeah. The grades for PFF are always something you got to look at but he's good against the run. I'm thinking like, how do I get Pratt at replacement, someone better at the run, someone who could tackle a little bit more this time around, which those are two things Barton's always been able to do a little bit better. Yeah, you want to go with the young guy here that, finally got his chance to play and played pretty well, but he's been good even in mop-up duty before that.
I mean, a lot of his grade is coming from these two games. Outside of that, he's kind of like a middle of the road guy, which is fine.
Buffalo 79 is fine. Tennessee
cost. I mean, that's as much as Logan Wilson's making.
Yeah.
Similar hair on fire playing style to Quincy Williams. That sounds fun. We like that.
Yeah. I'd like to add some energy. In fact, when I'm watching draft prospects this year on defense, because I want to, if we spend 4 of these 6 picks on defense.
Oh, he's so small. Safety to linebacker. I wonder what he weighs
That's
now.
probably why it took him some time. I bet he's not still 216, right?
But like probably 230.
But I'm white dudes. So when you guys are watching too, I'm talking to the comments, the chat here. Find me dudes that are nuts, like hitting, tackling, nonstop motor. The Bengals desperately need it. That's how you rejuvenate, I think, the energy on the defense. just been fine, but I like the way he plays. Him and Robert Spillane both play
Why
with
are all these
reckless.
guys so small?
That's bring up KJ Britt.
Yeah, I mean that's just what linebackers look like in the NFL these days.
Yeah. 235 is what he is. His grades are much worse, but he is a thumper, downhill guy. I'm saying he's probably cheap. 17th overall for Roquan. Roquan just came off a terrible year. I don't know that I would be interested with that salary also.
I would definitely not trade the 17th overall pick for
Who's
him.
the safety from Ohio State that's a nut? He's got a great name, but just watching Ohio State already, I'm like, this dude is crazy. And it just blows people up. Someone would know in the comments, in the chat. Ransom, yes. Yes. Like, where do I have to draft to get that guy? Just off watching other players, he keeps taking my attention. And I usually fall for those guys that that are telling me while I'm watching the tape, please look at me because I'm crazy. That's Lathan Ransom. He's a bat out of hell. Yeah, exactly. Third round. All right, let's do it.
I don't have strong feelings about these linebackers.
No, they're just guys that Robert Spillane's been a fine player. They're all the same. They're all Jermaine Pratts. They're just different. What type of Jermaine Pratt would you like? There's so many linebackers again this year. It's going to be very similar. They're all going to get $5 million per year. Nothing crazy. And we don't have to fill it on this stream. We just started looking at the linebackers. This isn't something we have to decide right now.
Okay. All right. So Paulson.
Did you already give the contract? I thought you did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. What money are we at now then?
Probably 30.
Safety, Julian Blackmon. I mean, that's really the position we should
actually, yeah, that is a safety that I would like.
Yeah. If you go to the spreadsheet, go to probably free safety, strong safety, DB.
Oh my God.
I think you just did the opposite. And then FS. Yeah. Okay. I actually like this safety class. Javon Holland has had very good years. I know he's a Mulligetta. I know I know. Javon Morrig's good, has been good for the Raiders. I think Julian Blackmon is good. Tons of free safety snaps. Hufanga scares me. He's more of a strong safety, but I like Blackmon a lot. I think Justin Reed, still a good player.
Morrig is also a box guy.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. I looked at this.
We should switch him on that if we can, so we don't get confused later. Yeah, scroll to right on this for us.
439, 191 in the slot, only 361 deep.
Let's go down to his career.
I think it's different this year.
Yeah.
Because he was playing.
Yeah, that's right. He started as a deep free safety type and got better as he went.
Trending toward this.
Can we just switch him on the spreadsheet to just safety then? Just so we can clear that confusion on that.
You want another category?
No, just safety. Just safety. Yes, please don't do this. God, please, God, no. Don't do that.
Well, this is how I see this category.
Put an S.
Yeah, all these guys.
No, I'd like to know, but we should probably have a secondary. I believe we originally had that when we did the draft spreadsheet. I think Justin Reed is still very good. Justin Simmons, I would take. Harrison Smith, you still want to play? Andre Sisco, very underrated player, 25 years old.
From Jacksonville, too.
Yeah. Cameron Bynum.
This is like prototypical buy low from a bad team idea.
Yeah. And 25.
Well, this isn't what if it's a Bengals, they're like finding like
Elijah Molden, DeMar
Hamlin. Yeah, like
I don't know that has to be true. I think our most common signing based on our history, how we've graded them, is our 3.0 type guys.
DeMar Hamlin's getting a 3 and a 3.5 for you guys?
He's not bad.
Wild.
He's just not an athlete. I want someone more athletic. I can't continue going with what they've done the last few years now.
I think Julian Blackmon is
I think Julian Blackmon 100%. I'm with you. I got you. I'm at a 2.5. Mike's at a 3, but I'm willing to go on. But there's a lot. That's a lot of safeties. If I think the Bengals, that's the reason I'm cutting Geno Stone, because I look at the class and I go, you know what? We could do this easy. What's total value? 24 for 3 years? Yeah. All over this, right?
Let's bump this up a little bit.
Go to his PFF too after you sign him. We're doing it anyway, but just so the people can. What's it say? Read it to us, Jake, for the people.
Blackman returned to playing almost exclusively a deep safety role after lining up a lot more in the box and slot in 2023. His 3 interceptions in 2024 gives him 7 over the past 2 seasons. However, a year after Blackman ranked tied for 6th among safeties with 30 stops, he ranked outside the top 50 with just 12 in 2024, in large part due to his alignment. He may be a jack of all trades and a master of none, but he's a good football player. He got Joe Burrow as a rookie. Remember that?
Comment here. Lou ain't going to let them lose Blackman. I agree. That's why I want him. He's seen this before. He's not playing with that. It's a good safety class, though, for free agency. I think there's plenty of options.
And it's like okay in the draft.
Yeah.
I still think that Xavier Watts is.
But you can sign a guy like this and take Watts.
Is a target. Yeah.
What are we at for cap wise then after that?
It's impossible to actually spend cap space.
They have so much. You start with 90 and then you create space by extending guys.
Yeah, because our top 51 cutoff, we're now pushing off $930 million.
Pushing off our 5th round draft picks.
Yeah. I mean, these guys obviously make the team, but like there's offset. Like
you see I like that it shows the offset. Hey.
You see what the offset is when you. I don't know what else to do here.
No, I think we leave it as it is and let people understand that they can do anything they want.
They can do anything they want. This is with signing a Chidobe Awuzie level corner and Paulson Adebo, hoping you get the same outcome. Pat McCarry to starter level money to play guard, and he can back up. He can kick out to any of the 5 positions. This gives you so much flexibility. This gives you a path to Matt Lee getting on the field if you need to, or rostering Matt Lee more flexibly because you have a guy like McCarry that can play any position. Running back, yeah, that's a good one that we didn't do.
I didn't keep perfect track, but we're around $155 million in cash added,
which is about what maybe that's where we're at now. Is like that's where the cash.
Yeah, they can't spend anymore because they're at cash.
So they would structure these contracts differently to they'd have bigger year 1 hits for Chase Young and. Levi Onwuzurike. Maybe they throw another 1-year deal in there. Maybe Mike Gesicki gets a 1-year deal, and that's a $2 million higher cap hit. And they start to eat into their cap space a little bit this way.
For the people saying, so why won't they do this, Jake? I don't know if we haven't talked about this, but this is the conclusion I've come to the last 24 hours. We have felt using cash, especially doing the exercises we've done, that, 2020, this is a year they would actually spend if they're going to do it. 2021, this is actually a year they would spend because they're missing the draft classes from 4 years ago because they haven't spent the cash. Like we weren't off when we said those years. There's reason to actually pay attention to free agency. We thought they'd spend a little bit more last year. They didn't. I think they were waiting for the extensions that never came. So I think that all hits this year. I do think they will spend this year.
Yeah. So what I was projecting them to spend is about $300 million in cash this year, based on the last couple of years. Based on this is in the free agent sheet as well. I don't know if you can see these numbers, but I'll make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so there's a question right here: would they actually be willing to spend 155 in cash? Yes, but you can explain why.
Yeah, so we can look over the past few years where Joe Burrow signs a contract, they spend significantly over the cap. Joe Burrow signs a contract, they spend significantly over the cap. They're waiting to sign Joe Burrow to a contract, they spend significantly under the cap. This is the only year that they spent under the cap in the last 5 years in the Joe Burrow era. But in the years that they don't give Joe Burrow a deal, they're spending just over, probably in the average of like a 3% over the cap range. And if you take that and apply it to
275, which we had 278, but so either way, we're in that range.
To whatever maybe this is 278, right? That number will go up a little bit. They're spending about $300 million in cash this year. And then you need to go look at what they're currently spending in cash. Oh, that's in the spreadsheet too, in 2025. And before they cut anybody, it's $186 million. They cut all these guys. That number drops to like 140 or something like that,
Yeah,
give or
they
take.
$40
And
million
then
extra on that.
and then you get to spend $160 million in cash. So when you ask us, would they be willing to spend $155 million in cash? Here is our homework.
Yes, they would.
That shows that, yes, they could, in fact, spend $155 million in cash this offseason, and it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for the Bengals.
And I guarantee no other Bengals show is breaking it down to that level to tell you why we expect them to do it. It's not just hopeful fan. It is math. They're in that year where they should spend a little bit more.
We got 200 people in this stream, Joe, watching us talk about salary cap numbers and looking at spreadsheets. Nice. I mean, this is the kind of analysis that it takes, though, right? When you're not just watching the film, which is something that we were talking about doing today, was
we're not going to get
maybe watching a prospect, but we're not going to get there. Instead, it's like, this is part of running a team. And this is something the Bengals don't do a good job of. I think that they understand the cap from a perspective, but I don't think that they have a creative approach to cap management at all. I think that there's a very, very clear long-term evidence that says that they do contracts a particular way.
Yeah.
And whether that is because of philosophical opposition to guarantees, or whether that is because of risk aversion, or whether that's because of cash flow issues, whatever the reason is, we have a we have a clear track record of the way they do contracts and a necessity for them to bring in somebody who can help them manage the cap in a way that leads to more competitive football teams. And hopefully that is something that happens in the future. This is a great time, though, to send in some questions. If you guys have some questions at this point, we wanted to take some questions at the end.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were done there. One of the comments here. So we predict that they'll spend money. Do we predict that they will also use that cash to front load for the first time ever? Really push cash over cap, put these cap hits later, use void years. They have used some void years, extremely rare. Do we expect this to happen, Jake? Until I see it, I don't expect it.
I mean, it's happened with Orlando Brown.
Riley
and
Reef.
this is like the only reason that you should think this would happen. And the reason that this happened the way it did is because this is the year they did Joe Burrow's extension.
Can you bring up Riley Reef as well? He was a void year. Remember that? It was weird.
Yeah, but that was a void year that didn't make any sense. That was a void year that literally served no purpose.
They tested it out, right? It was the feeling like, let's see.
No, not even that. It literally served no purpose, because if they had not done the void year, they would have not had a dead cap hit, but they instead wouldn't have had the $1.5 million they rolled over. It literally did nothing. So I will never understand. Yeah, I will never understand the purpose of that void year. Like, the only reason to do it that way is if you think you need to use more space in the current year, and then they didn't end up using that current space. And it was only like $1.5 million.
Can you bring up Joe Burrow's contract breakdown too, so they can see that as well?
$2.5 million.
So do we expect it? No, until we see them use it and be aggressive with it and be creative with it, I do not expect those things.
Should the Bengals draft Jamery Caldwell
at 17? This is Mike Sands. He loves him. That's his guy.
I love him.
Listen,
I think he's awesome.
From the first time we noticed him was Senior Bowl, right? We see that burst off that first play we were doing a stream. We watched it here and we said, whoa, that guy's he's 330 and he's moving like that. BJ Raji looking,
that was a comp from Ben Fennell.
Yeah. Another one is Casey Hampton. He's got a body like Casey Hampton.
Apparently he played at Houston. Who knew?
And then transferred. So remember, because we looked at the missed tackle rate for he and Harmon, both transfers to Oregon and then couldn't tackle for some reason.
This is a great example. Like, look, this guy weighs 330 pounds.
Moving.
Look at that. Look at that big butt.
Arms are chugging. That's how Mike Sands runs.
Oh, I like this guy.
Yeah, I do too. He's a round 2 pick.
You can get him in PFF in the 6th round right now.
Go back to that. Time. If it's just a click left. The intensity in which he moves there and his hands move is what I like. Watch how let it play. Or if you want to go slow with it, sure.
I was going to let it slow down.
Yeah. So he's got to go outside, right? And he sees, okay, maybe I can go power. No, I'm going to go with this. I miss. I'm not so great, but let me rip over the top. Let me come back right. Like, that goes from a swim to a rip to a, you know what I mean? That's all in one motion. Watch how fast it looks here. Yeah,
And that's 330 pounds. That's like good agility and like he can fight through the double teams. He can take on double teams. Just bull rushing the center. Quarterback's off his spot, drops his eyes.
It's his lateral agility right there. A great example.
Yeah.
Perfect
Oh,
timing. Right. And like he's agile, he's bursty, his moves land, his moves work in succession with each other, which is not something I'm getting from this class so far. I think he's a good player.
and awareness here. Track down the screen. Look at him get out to the
I
sideline,
know.
man.
He
Look
is
at it. Look at
chugging.
him.
It's actually funny to watch him.
Slip and slide in there after the tackle. I want the Senior Bowl clip, though.
We ended up watching film, Jake.
We did it. Where is the... We're too far away from it now.
Yeah, I know.
Here it is.
That was a side, again, agility. He wins horizontally so often for a big dude.
And this is against that Virginia corner that has a chance to be
the corner.
a day 2 pick.
I did it. Mike's excited. He got the film going. PFF silly low on him. PFF, I think, just goes based off of where the rankings are when their grades happen. If you're talking about their mock draft.
I mean, what a freaking rep. And then against Gray Zabel, who everyone loved.
He showed power, agility, hand usage, leverage. He showed everything.
Like this guy. All right. Thanks, Mike. Jake and Joe, chances the Blackburn/Brown family relocate. I don't know, actually. I have no idea. They have to know they're universally disliked in Cincy. You can see them leaving for a fresh start. I don't think that the family is very motivated to leave.
I don't think so either. But things happen.
Who knows?
Scroll down on Joe Burrow, though. All these void years here.
Not many. So the way that this ends up working out is one of these option bonuses. Where are all the option bonuses? $10 million option bonus here. Where are all the option bonuses?
I think that was it, right? Or did Over the Cap break it down? Or it's
there's a $55 million option bonus and then a $10 million option bonus.
And that's why the cash that they pay him goes down every year now. And they're in good shape with how much cash they're paying.
Until 29.
Yeah.
And then there's a big salary that year.
But he's the example I've been using for why they have cash to spend a little bit more this year too. Because this cash goes from $65 million to $35 million this year.
Yeah, they spent a lot of cash on him in a couple of years. And the cash expenditure for him is not crazy high until the last year of that deal.
Although it says only 36 on that one. I wonder.
Yeah, why. I don't think
is that not including the bonus?
It is not.
Right. It shouldn't. It can't be.
Because there's that big bonus, and he still had a salary. So, this is the weirdest structure for the Bengals that they've ever done because they've used option bonuses here to spread out the proration. There are void years at the end of it, although they are minimal. And the way they've done this contract is not restructure friendly until you get to the end of it. I think you could see a restructure somewhere in 26 or 27.
Agreed. That's what I've been saying as well.
And this would be where it would be. But I do think there are small option bonuses in each of these years. That's why this proration over the void years is different, because it's like little $10 million option bonuses that kick in, and then $2 million goes off, and then $2 million goes off, and then maybe there's like one final $5 million option bonus somewhere. Anyway,
good question to finish this though, Jacob Conley.
Oh, there's so many questions that we haven't done. I'm so far scrolled up in the chat.
What would the needs be after this free agency? I would say guard is really high. D tackle would remain high because you still need a high end D tackle with number one, but you can lessen the chance of when you have or the need to have to do it right away. I would say get a linebacker pretty early. I would say we probably have dressed corner. You can sit back on corner. You can take a safety at some point. You're going to take a running back in a super strong running back class. I'd love to draft an RB2 rather than sign one. And tight end, I'd be open to Tyler Warren now at that spot.
Should we do a mock draft?
Based on this? Sure. I got time for that.
What simulator do you like the best right now? What simulator is the best, chat?
I need to upload a consensus board to Fanspeak. So that's that hasn't happened yet, but I'd like to do one this week.
Somebody asked if Jemery Caldwell was DJ Reader with Reggie White pass rush moves. I don't see a DJ Reader cop there at all. The guy that I would think has a DJ Reader like trajectory in his future is Tyreek Williams from Ohio State. The way he plays against the run.
Yeah.
Just
not as big.
Mike is funny today, man.
He's a flying meatball. Mike, we want you on these streams, man. You could say these things rather than type these.
He's working.
I know.
You hard at work or hardly working? Wes Harrison asked earlier he had to leave and come back. Milton Williams isn't an option. He is. We considered it, but
it's out of the Bengals' normal signing, though.
We would do it probably. The other thing is, like, you do that move, then you need to go get like 2 run stoppers, probably.
You do, and spending all of your D tackle money on him, we just decided to go with 3 guys that could probably fill the role.
And also like as much as I like the player, obviously he is like mostly a pass down guy for the Eagles. He's not a guy you're going to put on the field and run down.
Although previous years, if you look at PFF, he was used differently this year than he was previous year. So he made his money. Fangio knew what he was doing. I saw a quote that Fangio tried to trade for him when he was with the Dolphins last year because he was like, "You guys aren't using him right." And then he goes to the Eagles, and now they let him.
What was the difference? Like,
if you go look at his snap breakdown, you can see it on PFF. It's interesting. I can't remember. I don't want to be incorrect right now if we have it in front of us.
You're saying like
scroll down to his career.
All B gap this year.
Yeah, and I think he did more over tackle before.
Oh, interesting. So they were playing him outside.
Yeah. So he needed to be a 3-tech penetrator, which is what we always thought pre-draft, and they never did it until this year. So if you look at his grades, he was actually good against the run. I want to say as an over tackle, right? Yeah. And then now, so it's flipped. I think you can still find his home a little bit.
All right, what simulator are we using, chat? What are the odds Xavier Watts falls to the second round? PFF? Okay.
PFN, someone said.
PFN. Who are the next draft prospects you're going to break down, Joe?
I've already recorded for the next 2 weeks. So the guys coming are all edge guys. Tonight you have James Pierce, and then you have Mike Green on Friday. You have Javon Walker next Tuesday. And then
that's a Georgia linebacker / edge that Dane Brugler just put number 3 on his board.
And I'm out. I give him a second round grade.
Mike can pop in for the mock draft. All right, I'll send
him a link. And then we'll have Shamar Stewart for the following one after that. So.
Oh no! Everyone saw that I DM'd Andrew Whitworth.
No one saw that. They're gonna pause it now. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, I gave them the idea. You were quick.
I shouldn't have said it in the first place. Trying to get Andrew Whitworth on a podcast.
But look at Milton Williams at the top of that list, though. He was fantastic.
For a defensive tackle, I mean, John Franklin Myers, holy. But for a defensive tackle, he is the only one with like a sub-10 pass rush win rate. How about Doris Armstrong? Keon White, really good too.
While we're asking too, people are saying, "Oh, Mike Green." Watch the James Pierce and Mike Green episodes. Both worthy of the pick. Mike Green, athletic. I say the line during one play. He can run around the circumference of a dime. Pierce, young, super young, and had some crazy games. And he's got some power and he's got the speed. There's a lot left for development there in Pierce, and he's really good. I would take either one.
Okay, Pro Football Network.
Mike,
do you worry about Pierce? I felt like on rundowns they just looped him around nonstop, so he didn't have to take blocks.
He's the knock I had. So I was just talking with my buddy at work who is as smart of a football guy as I know, but he doesn't do any social media stuff, never made content or anything, but we talk all the time. And I said to him, his intensity is not where I want it to be, especially versus the run. It's not like Mike Green, who will slam his head into guys, Nolan Smith style.
Excited for that.
And Pierce is a little bit stiffer than I would like from a guy going top 10, which is why I think he could be there at 17.
Yeah. I could honestly
see Jared Verse stiff type. Like I think he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, but Verse could just run through you too. He's got that contact. Yeah, the contact.
Verse be running through guys' faces.
For sure, no doubt. And because he has that intensity that Pierce doesn't have.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think there's a non-zero chance Pierce ends up like Josh Uche, and everybody's like, "Oh, get this guy on the field. He just beat, I don't know, Jordan Mailata for a sack." And it's like, yeah, Uche
That's the only thing
has done that. Yeah, Uche's done that stuff before, but he doesn't see the field because.
Speaking of, Uche's a free agent. I mean,
didn't play in the playoffs. Was he hurt?
Healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
believe.
did nothing for them.
He played. Yeah, he
Jags
played in
didn't
this
like
Chiefs
him.
game when they were resting their starters.
Mhm.
And apparently he did, had a few plays. So
I wanted to see his college stuff real quick.
I mean, they said he'd be good. His pass rush.
He is a good pass
Shame.
rusher
I
too,
know.
though, right? Like you see him beat good tackles.
He's small though, and he never got bigger and stronger. Like you need to see those guys. I think you're right on the Nolan Smith thing when you're looking for those guys. Do they defend the run? Do they play like they don't give a shit that they're small, that they don't even know they're small, and go through guys and run through faces? Uche never did that. Nolan Smith did. I think your guy from Michigan again. I agree. He plays
Josiah
tough.
Stewart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Josiah Stewart does. He's
You
got
need-
that
you need
Elvis
the-
Boomerville, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Density to him.
The 6 foot thing is cool to me because he's still long enough to play.
is.
But what I think of these small guys
You get
is
balance off that 6 foot though.
yeah, it feels like they think God is telling them to run their head through that guy's helmet. And the people that listen to him, those are the ones that succeed.
Yeah. They're promised good
That's
things on the
when,
other
when
side.
the CTE manifests as a command to run their helmet through the guy in front of them. Those are the guys you want to
They've got the CTE angel on their shoulder saying, "Do it again, Nolan." He's just hearing bells the entire time.
Oh,
That's that clip from Marshawn
a
Lynch,
really
though. He
bad
goes,
joke.
"You got to run through a motherfucker's face before he runs through your face," and it's like, you're right.
I thought we only talked about Marshawn Lynch's stiff arms. Let's start a mock draft.
All right,
I put it
Patrick
on
You're gonna
normal
zoom
speed.
this in for
Somehow
us.
he fell. Oh,
I put it on normal speed. Hold on, that's a mistake. I'm going to put it on fast speed.
Yeah, and then zoom in for us. There we go. Travis Hunter, yes.
That's a pretty nice,
Very nice
nice
trade.
package actually.
Can't let them take their Xavier Worthy though.
I always have to resist these trades. They give some pretty good trade offers sometimes. All right, who's been picked? Mason Graham. So I was doing these a couple days ago, and I got Mason Graham in 3 straight drafts at 17.
Lord,
It was crazy.
no, Jake sent it to me. I was like, he issued the gas mask for
Yeah,
you.
I did
right.
the-
Pong
and then
match.
I got Walter Nolan in the second round of that one without trading.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
Luthenberger's
McMillan goes
good.
first overall. That's insane.
Brian Callahan's coming back.
Don't worry about those. We'll go on who's available because you can't control a crazy mock.
I just wanted to see who was
Simulator.
picked. Okay.
All right.
I want to
Malachi
pick
Starks
Tyler
made
Booker.
jump this for him.
I may have called him Javon Walker earlier. I can't help myself. That's from my childhood. Jalen Walker.
Packers wide
Yeah.
receiver. Was that the Texas right tackle that was at like number 20?
Mm-hmm.
I think that guy is just uncoordinated and can't play.
56?
I think.
He gave Walker hell. He is pretty nasty, but he can't move.
Yeah. Maybe a guard.
Right.
But that's crazy. He's up there. Yeah, that 20. It's like I think I have a 4th round on him.
All right.
So here's where if they didn't keep T, you're picking Burden.
Yeah, he's good.
But they kept T.
Mhm.
We kept T.
I don't think Booker's worth this
You
based
don't?
off the clips I've seen.
Mike, what do you think? Have you watched Booker?
Yeah, I've got him as like a late kind of fringe first. Like I think he'd be worth this spot. I don't have a lot of firsts though. in this
He'd have
class.
to test like an elite athlete for me to consider.
I don't think he will.
He's right, and that's why I can't do that.
Then we're
I got-
between Nolan and
Mem-
Mike Green.
That Membu guy.
Membu,
He's good. I think
Yep.
he's good.
and he may test very well.
Is he playing guard in the NFL?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think Jared graded him much higher at guard. I was looking at this. Yeah, Jared has him at an 82 at guard and he has him at an 82 on both. Never mind.
Who are the guys just before this though? Can you scroll up just a little bit?
Also, that Jody Barron guy, I like him a lot. He moves around. But I think you guys got some corners.
Yeah, so Harmon, Morrison.
The Bills traded in front of us to take Starks.
Yeah, because I would be all over that shit.
Amanawari is another. Amanawari.
Emanwari, yeah. Box safety type. He can man up tight ends, but
I thought he was playing deep a ton.
Yeah, I don't think he's a ton of range.
So is Mike
Okay.
Green available, or did we miss him?
No, we got Mike
Same.
Green. We got the number 15 player on what's his Dane Brugler's board here.
This has to be a sign of a bad draft class that these tight ends are being pushed up as far as they're being pushed up.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Green, right?
Mike Green. I don't know, Mike, if you've watched him yet, but I'm in.
I'd give a thumbs up. Seems good to me. I don't know if they would, just a Marshall thing and him being small, but we're not worried about that.
We also did just sign Hendrickson, 251 at Senior Bowl.
This is the Eagles pick though. It's Mike Green or it's Walter Nolan. They love defensive tackles.
I thought Walter Nolan was like one of the hardest evaluations just because Ole Miss, all they did was slant that defensive line every single play.
And they have a ton of prospects he can be hidden because they had a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys in this draft.
Derek Harmon's on a defensive line that's going to have 3 defensive linemen drafted. Yeah. Anyway, let's pick Mike
Shamar Stewart, Jahad Campbell.
No college production.
At the risk of the fell for it again ward, I started watching Shamar Stewart today. That's the first rounder to me.
That's my next guy too. I've only one game in.
280 pounds. He gets into the backfield on the handoff. I'm like, that's preposterous.
He's a monster. He's not Miles Murphy.
Crazy. He's
not Miles Murphy though so far.
But his production
plays at an
like
intensity and a speed that Murphy never really flashed.
Yeah.
All right. So Mike Green?
Yeah, just take Mike Green. I haven't watched him, but
more pass rushers.
Everything seems
just
good.
Throw pass rushers at them. Reject.
Oh my God.
That one, no.
I would take it in a heartbeat.
They're all 4 picks.
Oh,
Walter
look,
Nolan.
We did it.
I mean,
we fixed the Bengals.
That easy.
His character issues were real.
Yeah. And we make that.
This one's interesting, but we signed a corner, but I like him.
Jack Sawyer, but we just took a DN because Jack Sawyer would be a great mix, I think, with the guys we've accumulated here.
Hairston was interesting to me in that he gets out of bad spots really well, like really good recovery, but he also puts himself in bad spots all the time by just flipping his hips and going the wrong way. I think that's a good, Makuba.
So I didn't realize that he weighs less than 200 pounds, Mike. That's crazy.
But he misses tackles, but he's very willing.
Less than 200 pounds is crazy.
You know they can get over 200 easy?
Yeah.
Do we want to add
Skyline ice cream?
Do we want to add some size to the D tackle room with Deion Walker?
Not really.
Did you add a safety? I missed some of this.
Yeah, we did. We signed
Julian Blackman.
I'd still do Makuba. I mean, Walter Nolan feels like the easy pick here. I think I have Makuba with the same grade as I get.
Trey Harris is good.
Yeah, in the one game I saw, I thought so. Although he had that one tracking issue. I think you talked about that in your video. There's that guy that tracked that one ball.
That deep ball. Yeah, that one right over him.
What about Ezra
Mike, you're watching. What a nice guy you are.
Yeah.
Ezra Riaku is good.
Yeah, he wins at a high rate. We just took Mike Green, though. I mean, and we signed Chase Young. I mean,
just an embarrassment of riches. We can trade now.
Have you watched Tate Ratledge yet?
Yeah. He's interesting because he gets injured mid-game, and I thought it was like
more
a really
Georgia
good
lineman.
Game. Yeah, he gets rolled up on mid-game, and then I read something from Thorne who's like, the difference between pre-injury and post-injury is staggering. And I watched, I was like, yeah, it is. So this sucks. He got injured in like game 3.
Yeah. People like him quite a bit.
I like him.
Mason Taylor, top 30 player in the draft, according to Dane Bergler and Daniel Jeremiah.
There's a psyop with them. The government, Doge.
Something weird there. Jalen Royals is getting first-round talk.
I've never even heard of him.
Chris Paul, in case you need to hit a three-pointer.
Yeah.
Cut the lead to 39.
Need someone to communicate on your defense. Jaden Higgins, I like.
Yeah. I say we don't overthink this. I think you take Walter Nolan if he's
if he's there, you take him. If he's not there, then it gets interesting. Who are we talking about if he's not there? I'd be talking about Harrison.
I'd be talking about Deion Walker. I could sell him.
I think
the Ole Miss game is. I think the Ole Miss game's good.
Yeah.
I think every other game I watched, I wanted more. And he gets moved in some of those double teams.
He's playing so tall, especially this last year. They said he had a back injury. You can definitely tell the leverage is not even a concern with him at some point. But he's so big, and leverage is always an issue. He's probably been yelled at his entire life for not getting small. Who'd you take?
Nolan.
Okay. All right, great.
Oh, they just keep putting these guys like JT Tuimoloau in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
I'd be in on
6'5" guy.
Took enough guys.
Lathan Ransom at safety. Can we cap this off with a fucking psycho?
He is psycho. I was up and down on him, but he fits.
Ezra Thomas too. I would take that at third round. I think he's got starting corner ability.
There's Stewart, but we've taken edge. But just want to point him out.
Elijah Arroyo, another top 50 player in this draft class, according to
You've got
all the draft heads. The tight
1
ends
year
are
of production, but he looked good.
The tight ends just are so pumped. It's crazy.
They're pumped up.
Oh, it's the third round. I already don't know a lot of these names. I thought that Ezra Thomas, Joe mentioned him, and a lot of guys that watch DBs that I haven't watched him yet, but they seem to like him. Kind of classic Florida State, press jam the crap out of people.
Yes, with good enough ball skills. So he can end up being in a starting outside corner. We can end up in a year where Paulson Adebo and Ezra Thomas are 2 starting corners on the outside.
What's our plan at guard?
That's right.
Yeah.
Did we just miss on the Miami guy? Yeah, we're fucked.
We are fucked. We should have spent more money on guard.
Dylan Fairchild is so high on this.
Where is this Miami guy?
Maybe he's further down.
What's his name?
Rivers. Rivera.
Rivers, yes.
Is he further down? Oh my God.
Holy.
That's where we're going in round 4. So I say psycho safety.
I think people like those Penn State safeties too. I haven't watched them.
Or Ezra Thomas, actually. That'd be, I always take the value guy, but I do want some psychos on this defense. They're a linebacker. I haven't watched them yet, but this would be a good spot to take a linebacker.
I think you got to watch Jalen Royals. I don't know any of these guys. There's your Barton.
The receiver, right? Royals?
I watched Jeffrey Bossa. I think he kind of moves like a crackhead.
Royals is more of like a run after the catch, but he looks like Golden Tate with a little bit of deeper speed.
Who's this?
Royals. They're trying to give you a body type there with Golden Tate. A lot of screens for him.
5'11", 210. I mean, that guy's
Golden Tate.
Yeah. That's a Jamar Chase body type.
Got to see his legs.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know these guys as well. So somebody make a pick.
Thomas or Ransom. It seemed like Joe wants Ransom for the psycho safety. Well, what do you guys feel more comfortable with, like at corner or safety?
I feel better about our current corner
pretty
situation.
Deep at corner now.
Yeah.
Maybe you just take Ransom.
Took Ransom.
Ransom played next to a guy that's supposed to go like top 10 next year at safety, and he's really good too.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to do a lot of the real hard stuff. But he is a psycho. He just comes down and just makes big hits.
Yep. Yeah, Belton.
We've already reached guys. I have no idea who these are.
Oh,
easy. Easy. Send it through.
Let's go. We actually just crushed this draft, guys. We just Philadelphia Eagles.
We just got a top 5 pick in this draft.
Top 5 pick. Now we need to go get Rivers and not mess around. Bang, we're going to come back to this in 3 years and be like, look at this draft these guys did.
We also come back to and be like, wow, these guys all went before the fourth.
Running backs available?
Yeah. Jaquavius Marks.
Are you on running back?
Khalil Mullings.
Trevor Etienne. Damian Martinez is a big runner, not a lot of receiving production. Keep going down.
Last pick. Okay.
The only guy I watched enough games.
Keep going down. I want to know if dude from Delaware is here still. Yarns, I'm all in. Give me a guy that can run routes. He routed. There's highlight videos on Twitter of him running routes at the Senior Bowl. Uncoverable with 4.3 speed.
500. Holy. 5'12". That seems like a UDFA.
He's gonna get drafted. But it's a strong running back class, so I can see him getting marked down. You can't be a Senior Bowl standout and go and be 5'12". Willie Lampkin, I'd be in. He can play. He'll find a spot.
You want a new H-back?
Yeah, he's playing long snapper, H-back, extra third tight end, jumbo lineman, and maybe a backup.
The last offensive player that went and played a game of long snapper didn't succeed.
Who was that?
It was the emergency usage of
Hudson?
Yeah. No,
Wilcox.
not Tanner Hudson.
Wilcox. It was Wilcox. It's funny.
What
They
about
asked,
Josh Farmer? You guys watched him?
JJ
I haven't.
Pegues, I have watched. I like him. He is a 350
We already
pound
took
dude
2
that
defensive tackles in this.
Oh,
wins
here we
some
go.
Riley
cross
Mills,
chops.
Jack Kaiser. Yeah, take Kaiser with this pick then.
This is what I always do in the simulators.
But I'm
Jack
telling
Kaiser
you to go watch Marcus Yarns on Twitter and see what comes up, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, we should have taken him in the 7th round. We should have taken him in the 5th round."
We don't have a 7th round pick, Joe.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't think he got drafted. We're on the
Perfect.
phones right now.
We're giving him the largest
What's his
undrafted
name?
contract. Marcus
Yarns?
Yarns. Pull up your Twitter screen too when you get there.
My bad. Replace screen sharing.
We got Caldwell. I'm all good. Option route.
That's versus Air though.
Yeah. But the air didn't stand a chance either.
Yeah, neither that guy. And that's a real human. And
That
he
looks
does
like
this multiple
looks
times.
like he pulled a hamstring.
Keep going. There's more of these.
A great angle here.
Yeah. Got him. That's a different one. That guy that's the same dude, but he gets twisted around again.
Oh, he took the
Stutter
choice
step.
route deep.
And the catch over the shoulder, though.
Good hands, yeah. He'll
And
be
they
a fun day 3 pick for somebody.
No doubt. Won't be us because we never do.
Oh, you said he went to
things like
Delaware. That looks like a Michigan helmet.
Yeah, that's
Delaware helmets look like Michigan helmets.
I've never seen a Delaware football game.
But watch, he'll get some power here.
Helmet.
He was hitting dudes in the in practice, just running through people.
I mean,
It feels like they're not tackling.
They're not, but he runs. He gets that second level and ran full speed into these guys. It's a new linebacker trying to cover that. They can't cover.
He took the choice route outside.
That linebacker actually looks like he might be fast too. All right. Our draft was Mike Green, Walter Nolan, Lathan Ransom. What a name. Jemery Caldwell, Jalen Rivers, Jack Kaiser.
Yeah, you want to pull that up for us?
That is a chunky investment in rebuilding the trenches there.
Linebacker from Sean Dolak, Gary. Yes. Unanimous All-American out of Buffalo. Not even Khalil Mack was a unanimous All-American.
I do think the one thing you want to look at with this is just when you don't take Tyler Booker round 1, the guard options just feel like you have to take somebody to me. Except maybe Tate Ratledge if he gets to round 3.
We didn't get anyone falling to us at 49.
Jemery. Sorry. I mean, we got Walter Nolan.
Jamar E.
Yeah, I think he meant guards. Like no guards fell to 49.
There probably were some like tackles that could play guard there, but like when you put Walter Nolan in front of me in the 2nd round, what do you want me to do?
Oh, I know. That's what I was saying. Like Booker is like a clear guard 1 to me where I just if I don't go with him, I almost kind of pump the guards.
For people asking, we signed Julian Blackmon to be the free safety. So Ransom is competing with Battle.
So we just missed on like Jonas Savaina, Donovan Jackson, Wyatt Millam, and then like I don't know if Marcus Imbo is strictly.
He's got the Jonah thing to me where people want to put him at guard because he's got smaller arms, but he also doesn't really have a great anchor. So I don't know if that gets better from guard.
What about Ursery? He was awesome on that first day at the Senior Bowl, but he's big.
Yeah, he's 340
He plays
pounds.
tall.
That would be.
Yeah, I assume Grade Zabel went in the 1st round then.
I think he was 3rd.
If Ratledge was in the 3rd round,
we should have just went Grade Zabel then, probably.
He wasn't there in the 3rd.
Well, you take him in at 49 or trade back.
Yeah, could have taken Grade Zabel in the 2nd, knowing that there's no world in which.
Is he that good? Basing only off the Senior Bowl, I thought he was excellent for the most part.
Okay.
I think he's legit 2nd rounder.
I do too. And they say he's going to test really well. Like that's why people were ready for him at the Senior Bowl coming from a small school like that because they're like, this is the best of all the North Dakota linemen that have come out.
Man, I love. Everybody knows how these names are. Savanea.
I don't know what you're saying.
These people that watch college football know how these players' names are pronounced.
I like the David Walker pick to the Steelers right there. That is perfect. Actually, what they would draft in round 3. That is what.
Where did that Toledo?
Josiah Stewart right there at 87. That's who they should have gone.
That I can see that.
Where did Darius Alexander go?
The D tackle. Right. Could
Ooh,
we have
yeah.
waited
Is he
and
even
gone that
in
route?
here?
Oh my god.
Yes, Mr. Irrelevant. So this was a terrible simulator.
Wow, Willie Lampkin, 231.
He should be Mr. Irrelevant.
This is why we haven't done a mock draft Monday.
We're not there yet.
Because
We're not close
The
enough.
simulators are too crappy.
they just get worse year after year, and they're brutal right now.
Why
Like,
are they worse year after year? Why does this keep happening?
I think brain drain. Like the people that were doing good stuff of like actually keeping the boards in good shape
Got paid to
are
do better things.
now doing better things. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like PFF has lost tons of people.
Yeah.
There's probably a realization that they're not making any money on maintaining the simulate. Like the mock draft network lost everybody. Or the what are they called? Draft network. Like they had an awesome simulator.
And a good group of people that all
and
Did
got
you read the Arif Hansen piece on that? Yeah, that was crazy.
It's crazy. The
right,
PFF
PFF
one
only uses their rankings. Which
no, they
doesn't help.
don't. They don't.
They don't?
They let you like set it to
Oh, there is
consensus.
a slider. That's right. There is.
But the consensus grades right now are not very good. Where is this thing?
Yeah. Yep.
For guys like me, the PFF one also tries to charge you if you want to go more than 3 rounds.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you can.
For guys like Mike,
and it's set on full.
Don't pay for a lot of this stuff.
Public. But anyway,
Your
thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike, for joining us.
We'll call it there. Mike, thanks for hopping in. Yeah, appreciate it. Good jokes in the chat as well.
This guy's got the best jokes.
They're all.
Next time we'll probably
let's try and plan for when Mike can do it with us.
Do some film or something.
Yeah, let's watch a prospect.
All right. Thanks, chat. Appreciate y'all. This will be up in its entirety if you just got here on YouTube. So you can check it out there. We'll get a link up on.
We went nearly 3 hours
at some point. 2 hours, 40 minutes, probably 2.5 hours of real work, working through the cap stuff and proving that the Bengals can spend a bunch of money.
That was the underscore here, right? Is they can do anything.
And it's not like we were super creative about it. They're pushing
a ton
to make
of stuff. Hard.
Like we tried this, like we had to start like going out of our way to bring extra money into the first year of contracts or some of these contracts. And we didn't sign any real huge contracts either. So let that be your takeaway today. And appreciate everybody for hanging out. We'll see you next time.